Sorry about that. Operator error. Operator forgot to turn on his mic. And now he's embarrassed.
I thought it was me for a second. I'm going over everything. I'm like, shit, did I have the wrong thing set up?
I had a Gary from Nerdrotic moment.
The old boomer moments.
Yes. Anyways,
Uh,
I'm your host, Mike, aka Pacific414. He is my co-host, the Smoking Patriot, also known as Common Sense America. Welcome to Pacific414 Pop Talk, where the host doesn't always forget to turn on his mic. you gotta laugh about it, brother. I mean, come on. How are you doing tonight, brother?
I'm doing okay. I'm alive, so obviously, I can't complain too much. It's like, there's some poor bastard out there hanging to death's doorsteps who'd probably be like, I'd like to have half the life you have right now. Just like, half, so.
Yeah.
I can't complain. I could, but what's the fucking point these days?
There is no point. To be perfectly honest, there is no point.
Mm-hmm.
So, you ready to talk about today's pop culture news?
Yeah. Let's fire away.
Meanwhile, he's thinking, "What does Mike have me doing this time?"
I know. I saw the topics and I'm like, okay, interesting topics. All right, let's see where this train goes.
Well, I try to keep it interesting. I try not to select every topic that everyone else is talking about. I try to make mine just a little different.
Hey, you know what? That's good. Sometimes it's good to talk about the same topics because that's where the algorithm is. But other times it's like you'll get drowned out by bigger names because they're bringing. So it depends on the topic, but I would agree.
But there is one topic I am going to talk about. I'm sure they've all talked about it too. I'm going to be straight with you guys right here and now. And that's the fact that Hawkeye reportedly the worst performing Marvel series on Disney Plus. And as someone who has seen all 3 episodes, I could see why. I can definitely see why. It's not it's not all that great, to be honest. I feel that Haley Steinfeld and Jeremy Renner are being wasted in this series.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. And as somebody who's a Haley Steinfeld fan, I'm actually like kind of disappointed to hear that everyone's like, I like her. I've seen her in other stuff, and she was outstanding and fantastic. Because the first movie I saw her in was Ender's Game,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm thinking, okay, yeah, she's nice. Then the very next movie I see her in is a movie I don't know if you've heard of called Pitch Perfect.
I have heard of it. I haven't seen it, but I have heard of it.
Yeah, so there's 3 of them. She appears in this. She's in number 2 and 3. 2 is where she first makes her appearance, and I'm like, okay, you can act, and damn, girl, you got a voice. Like, holy shit! Like you're eye candy. You're a good actress, and you got a voice to you. Thumbs up. I mean, unless you start going all the SJW fucking crazy ass route, then you'll get all the dislikes I can ever give you. But you know,
The first movie I saw her in was in the remake of True Grit, and she was very good in that.
that came out in what, like 20? God, that came out
2010.
many years ago.
2010.
2010.
Yeah.
Shit.
It was, one of these things where my mom and I, for a while there, because Hollywood was actually producing some of them, we would go see a Western every year.
Mm-hmm.
So I watched the original True Grit with John Wayne first. And then
Right.
we went and saw the remake. And my mom asked me, which do you prefer? I said, I actually prefer the original over the remake. Not to say the remake's bad. It's not bad. But I just prefer the original.
No, nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong. There's not a whole lot of movies out there, I would say, where the remake outdoes the original. Best example, Ocean's 11.
Mm-hmm.
I saw the first Ocean's 11 and the way it ended, I'm like, wait, that's it? That's how it ends? Like it's like half a story kind of thing. Like it didn't make
Mm-hmm.
sense. But then when you see the remake, one with George Clooney and all them, you're like, damn, that was a good movie. Beginning, middle, end. Boom. Great movie. Well done. You know? So,
And we have another guest here. Hello, Master Paul. How are you doing this evening, sir?
I am good. How are you?
Doing well, doing well.
yeah, alive and
Tonight
kicking.
tonight's topics are talking about Bruce Campbell and his role as Ash in the Evil Dead movies. We're also going to be talking about Queen, and we're also going to be talking about Spider-Man No Way Home. But our first topic here that we're talking about to get you up to speed, Paul, is the fact that Hawkeye on Disney Plus isn't doing so well.
Yeah, I've heard about that too, and honestly, I have not seen any of the Disney Plus Marvel shows, and I've said this multiple times, but I honestly have no interest in seeing anything Marvel related past Endgame, with the exception of Spider-Man No Way Home, only because I think it's pretty much confirmed now that Toby and Andrew are going to be in it. But aside from that, to me, anything else is just unnecessary because Endgame was just that good of an ending to me.
Yeah, it was the bookend to the entire movie franchise.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Endgame also was a decade worth of buildup.
Mm-hmm.
You know? I mean, the very first Marvel movie was Iron Man. And for anyone who has seen Iron Man knows the scene. There's the alarms going off, and then Tony Stark comes into his dark house, and he's like, and then he says, Jarvis, alarm off, and then all of a sudden he sees this shadowy figure looking out the window, and then that was Nick Fury, and he says, like to
Mm-hmm.
talk about the Avengers Initiative, and everyone knew who was even remotely a Marvel fan knew. Wait, Avengers? What? And then at the end of Avengers, the first one, who do they hint? Thanos. Someone's like, holy shit, Thanos? Like a decade of building it up. Now who's the big baddie they're going to build up? Thanos was probably the most recognized big baddie that you could throw out there.
hmm I thought it was Kang the Conqueror that it's going to be the new big baddie of this new phase.
And unfortunately, I don't know anyone. I don't know anyone who I guess you could say is a normie that even knows who Kang the Conqueror is.
I certainly don't. I'm definitely in that normie camp when it comes to the MCU.
Oh, same here. Yeah, I am too.
I mean,
Like,
I'm familiar with, the characters that you always heard about throughout the years, like Hulk and, Captain America, Iron Man, just to name a few. But as far as every single character that's ever been created, not just in Marvel, but in DC as well, I'm sorry, I'm a fish out of water when it comes to that stuff.
Right.
But this article, and it's from Bounding into Comics, it's by John F. Trent. It says a new report claims that Hawkeye had the worst performing premiere episodes for a Marvel series on Disney Plus. It says data and analytics firm Samba TV, which touts it has a large multi-source TV data set sourced from 24 TV brand partnerships and 46M TV devices globally, claims Disney Plus and Marvel Studios' Hawkeye series premiere was only watched by 1.5 million households. Well, I was one of them. And eventually, and I'm going to be honest with everybody, I'm not in any rush to do it, but eventually there will be a review of each episode and there will be my thoughts and impressions of the series as a whole.
Okay.
But this article goes on to say they went on to report that viewership decreased by 200,000 to 1.3 million households for the second episode during the same time period. Well, both episodes were released at the same time, just in case anybody didn't know that. It says on Instagram, they wrote 1.5 million U.S. households watched Clint Barton and Kate Bishop meet in the premiere of Hawkeye on Disney Plus during its first 5 days streaming. They added 1.3 million U.S. households watched the second episode during the same period. Are you watching? Apparently, not too many people are. And it goes on to say they would further reveal that Hawkeye's premiere over its first 5 days was the least watched Marvel Studios show on Disney Plus. And it goes on to say, as noted above, Hawkeye's premiere was only watched by 1.5 million households. WandaVision was watched by 1.6 million households. The Falcon and Winter Soldier saw 1.8 million households tune in, and Loki took the top spot with 2.5 million households watching the premiere episode. Well, yeah, Tom Hiddleston. A lot of people like Tom Hiddleston, so can you blame them? Yep, that's very true, Zax. It isn't a great sign if the teenage demographic doesn't want to watch these shows, because they're usually the ones that are the first to jump on that bandwagon. It says not only was Hawkeye's premiere less than all of the other Marvel series premiere, it was also below the season finales of Loki and The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. It did beat Wanda's Vision season finale. Well, yeah, I think by episode 6, everybody was pretty much out of WandaVision, including myself, but I still mustered through it.
Mm-hmm.
Because one of the things, and anyone who's new here, who's never been to the channel, even if I go through my 3-episode limit, eventually I will go back to this series to complete my review of either the entire series or do it episode by episode. I don't like to leave things unfinished. So it goes on to say that Simba TV reported back in July that Loki's season finale was viewed by 1.9 million households. Falcon, I already read that. Yeah, 1.7 for Falcon and Winter Soldier, 1.4 for WandaVision. Like the Hawkeye season premiere, the season finale data was from the first 5 days after the episode released. So, unlike when you're watching it on regular TV, where we get the instant overnight ratings, especially for hit shows that are on the major networks, or Sunday or Monday Night Football, where you can get those instant overnight ratings. Unfortunately, we don't get the data as quickly as we should with these streaming services, at least in my opinion. So it goes on to say, oops, didn't mean to turn that off. Hawkeye's lower viewership in comparison to the other Marvel series in the United States comes after Disney Plus only added 2 million new subscribers from the third quarter or the fourth quarter. Goes on to say the Walt Disney Company reported in August Disney Plus had 116 million subscribers. In November, they reported they only had 118 million subscribers. It's because people have either watched everything that's available on Disney Plus, or there's only certain things on Disney Plus that they want to watch, and they've done that already. and there's nothing else for them to watch. It's like, you got. Go ahead, Paul.
Or it's also, and again, I'm sorry to bring this up, but the Gina Carano thing,
Yeah,
and just how they've handled that has cost them some subscribers.
yeah, it has. And I want to say hello to Godzillionaire real quick. Thank you. Okay, and it goes on to say the low increase in subscribers saw Barclays downgrade Disney's stock after Disney CEO Bob Chapek hinted they would be low in September. Goes on to say Disney's growth has slowed significantly, said Barclays analyst Kenan. I'm not going to be able to pronounce that name. So I'm just going to say Kenan. In order to get to its long-term streaming sub guide, Disney needs to make more than double its current pace of growth to at least the same level as Netflix. Well, that's going to be a hard task to really accomplish. What do you guys think?
Yeah, Netflix has been around way longer, and they have had longer to accrue those numbers that they have. So Disney can't get those numbers overnight. They're still going to have to take their time um and basically let their subscriber base grow organically.
Mm-hmm. What about you,
Yeah.
Patriot?
Plus, you gotta also remember. Well, and that's the thing is Disney is much more of a niche market too. Because think about it, Disney, oh, family friendly went out. Okay, we got all the Star Wars. Star Wars has been slowly dying out because you slowly, slit its throat and then bled it out over since what? Well, 2015. So you're talking 6-7 years of slowly bleeding Star Wars out to where you're not gaining new fans. You are
Right.
losing the old school fans, and the old school fans have enough sway with a lot of normies to where they will.
I think we lost him.
I'm going to give him a few seconds.
Well, Endgame is done. Marvel, if you haven't noticed the box office numbers, they ain't been doing good.
Yeah.
So
Mm-hmm.
Marvel's not the big draw that it used to be. So what's Disney's big thing? Oh, we're gonna go back to family friendly. Well, I'm sorry, Disney. When news keeps coming out that you have this new big, like, essentially you're kind of treating it like a cruise experience but at a resort, when that is literally for like the 1%ers. And then because I follow, by the way, this is a plug if you do want to learn more about Disney stuff and stuff that's going on with the theme parks, what Disney's doing. Park Hoppin', one of the Geeks and Gamers channels, because I
Yep,
follow
I've seen
Jay.
them.
I've been following that channel since it first started. And one thing Jay said is that Disney, they are starting to up their prices. They are starting to up food prices, ticket prices, prices on everything, because they want to declutter in a way the theme parks. They want a more higher paying crowd there, because that way you won't have the longer waits. You won't have the intense crowds. Well, the problem is Disney wasn't ever like that, and that's a long rant I could go on. I'm not going to go on it right now. I'm not going to. But Disney's losing their edge like they used to.
Mm-hmm.
Netflix is very broad. They have anime, sci-fi, horror, adventure, a lot of movies, a lot of mainstream movies you can go see on there. Disney, I don't go to Disney for my anime. I don't go to Disney for horror. I don't go to Disney for an adventure movie. I go to Disney for three things: Marvel movies, which most of those, I guarantee you, many of those people already own at least a chunk of those movies. Star
Mm-hmm.
Wars, which no one is interested in, and Disney movies, which, again, that's it's a niche crowd that they're targeting right now. So you're not going to have the numbers that you normally would with, say, Netflix or Hulu or Amazon Prime.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So Yeah. Bit of a rant.
It's fine. That's why I was giving you the time to rant, especially when it cut you out. I wanted to make sure that you were able to say what you wanted to say. So, this article then ends up going on and saying not only did their subscribers not increase as high as Disney needs them to maintain their goal of between 230 and 260 million subscribers by the end of the fiscal year 2024, but their average monthly revenue per paid subscriber from Disney Plus has decreased from 4.12 million to 4.16 million in the third quarter. And it's talking about other decreases that have occurred. And again, getting back to what we mentioned before. And as you can see, I am wearing a Mandalorian shirt. Well, guess what? Only one of those characters is still on the show. They fired Gina Carano, and a lot of us in the community canceled our subscription when that happened because we were looking at her post and we were looking at it from a reasonable point of view, saying, okay, she's just pointing out the similarities between what happened during World War II and what's happening now. That's all she was doing.
Yeah.
I have said that over and over again, whether I'm reviewing The Mandalorian or whether I'm talking here on Pop Talk, mostly here on Pop Talk, that she was only pointing out history. If we ignore history, we're doomed to repeat it.
Mm-hmm.
So, go ahead.
I don't have anything to say. I'm just agreeing with you.
Okay. I thought you had something you wanted to say, so I wanted to give you a chance.
Well, I'll tell you what, man. I just wanted to pop on here for a quick minute to say hey, but I think I'm going to go ahead and get off of here. So you guys have a great rest of your stream, okay?
All right. Thank you, Paul.
See you later.
Later.
Okay. And this article goes on to say the direct-to-consumer segment, which Disney Plus is part of, had revenues of, I already read that part before, 4.56 million. It was up in the previous paragraph. It says, however, costs were significantly higher than their revenue, as Disney reported an operating income loss of 630 million for their direct-to-consumer segment. Disney explained the increase in operating loss was due to higher losses at Disney Plus and to a lesser extent ESPN Plus, partially offset by improved results at Hulu. Well, yeah, people are going to rather spend their money on Hulu because of the content that's available, the wide variety of content that's available, than pay for something like ESPN Plus or Disney Plus, where they're limited to the amount of content they get.
Mm-hmm.
I know I'm stating the obvious, but it's the truth.
No, I mean, and that's the thing is that you could say, oh, it's ESPN Plus. Okay, what does the plus get me that just watching it with a regular cable membership, you know? I mean, is it like the NFL package? Is it like the NHL package? Is it, like what are the benefits, And, this the problem is that look at what Disney has put out over the past several years in terms of content. Aside from The Mandalorian, everything that they've put out hasn't done like incredibly well. Like okay, scroll back up to those numbers again, where it shows like for the finales and everything.
Okay.
Like it's kind of okay. So you have
Right here.
100. So as it was going up, I saw they have an estimated 116 million subscribers. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
for a franchise that carried such weight, that you are barely at 1% for the highest one, which is Loki's 1.9 million. That means that you are a little above 1% of your entire subscriber base for a show that I guarantee you cost you a very pretty penny to make.
Yeah, I mean, none of these shows are cheap. That's the thing.
Mm-hmm. They're not at all.
So,
I mean,
you know what's going to happen is, Disney's going to have to cut back on how many shows they're producing, and people are going to start complaining because the ones that are still subscribed aren't going to get the new content that they thought they were going to be getting.
yeah, yeah, and that's and I mean, how many times have I said this to you, that Disney Disney does not know its um they don't know its market, because if they did, then these numbers would be double, triple. I get not everyone's a Marvel fan, but for how much advertising did you see for Loki?
Oh, you
Everywhere.
saw a lot. You saw a lot, not just on TV. You heard it on the
Yeah.
radio. You saw it on billboards.
WandaVision, same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Bucky Winter Soldier, same thing. Shit tons. Everywhere. I mean, I don't even want to know what their advertising budget was. Don't even want to know. But those are paltry numbers.
Mm-hmm.
Paltry. I mean, I just, at this point, Disney needs to reevaluate what they're trying to accomplish with these shows. Because remember, this is a subscriber platform. This isn't like a movie theater. This isn't like cable television. This is something that is exclusively only for people who pay for it. And of the 116 million, if only you can't even draw in 2 million people for the 116 million.
Well, not only that, when they've had movies come on their platform the same day they're released in theaters, for those movies, they've been asking $30. Who wants to pay $30 on top of the subscription they already have, whether it's the monthly subscription or the yearly subscription? Nobody's going to want to pay an extra $30 just to watch a movie at home.
I had thought the same thing. I thought the exact same thing. And then I heard Tom of Midnight's Edge say something that made me think differently. Think about this, okay? Let's say you're a family of four.
Okay.
Even going to a matinee show is, the theater I used to go to, it was $6 during the day. Some theaters it's $7. Some theaters it's $8, but we'll just take the low end and say $6. That's $24 already for four. Not to mention all the concession, which tack on another, but you're probably coming up close to around $60 or about $60 probably, by everything said and done, for a family of four.
Mm-hmm.
That you have to, the wife's got to put makeup on, and you got to get the kids all together and round them up and everything, get them in the car, drive X amount of time to do that, have to sit and wait for lines when you could sit down and watch the same movie, make popcorn at home, order in a pizza or two, and you're still paying less than if you went to a movie theater. Now, I personally love the theater experience. I love that theater experience. I don't mind paying for it because it's an experience like you just don't get anywhere else. But I get if it's certain movies that Disney's offering that are especially meant for families. I get charging $30 to see it opening day. You know, I get doing. I don't agree with it, but if you have to choose between home and the movie theater, it's cheaper to do it at home. Although you make a lot less money doing it that way, I would argue.
Yeah, you do. And, getting back to your point about the theater experience, yeah, sitting there in the theater with, their speaker system, sound system that they have in each auditorium, you don't get that experience at home. I know I'm pointing out the obvious. Again, I will state this over and over again. There are things when it comes to stating the obvious, I do that well. And that's one of the things I do well. Hello, Leia Rose. Good to see you. Welcome.
Hello. Hello there. If she's a Star
Don't
Wars
mind,
fan,
don't mind him.
if she say what? I'm sorry.
Yeah, she is. She is.
Well, then she should know the appropriate response to when I say, hello there. She should know the appropriate response.
Yeah. But I'll make sure. Oops, my bad. No, this isn't my first time doing this. All right. I'll just worry about it later.
His finger slipped. There was an
Yeah.
earthquake.
Yeah. Yes.
Sudden solar storm.
There was some quantum interference. I could go into some techno babble, but anyways, I think we all can pretty much pinpoint the various reasons as to why Disney Plus is losing their subscribers. And
Mm-hmm.
Disney needs a good kick in the butt to give them a wake up call to realize that people are only going to be willing to pay so much, especially with all these streaming services. I know before, but it's true. You have too many streaming services now, and people have to budget their money and say, well, do I really want to sub to this particular streaming platform just to watch one show? I mean, I don't know about you, but I'm not made of money.
No, I'm not either. And I already have enough streaming services that I go to already. I mean, the only reason why I have a Disney Plus subscription is because I got it in February, and they just happened to have a thing where it was like 10 or 15% off their standard yearly amount. And I'm like, well, the yearly amount you're already paying less per month. If you break it down per month, you're already paying less. And then take an extra, like I said, it was either 10 or 15% off. I'm like, well, that's a few bucks extra more. I'm saving, I could pay for a month or two just off the savings alone. So okay, yeah, I'll do the yearly thing. That's the only reason why I did the yearly thing. But to be honest, I don't even know why I got it because the Mandalorian season 2 had already ended.
Hold on
So
one second, Common. StreamYards is having issues. Sorry, brother.
no, you're please. I know. Trust me. This is StreamYard's issues. It's like asking if water's wet.
Yeah, I mean, right now the only other way I could do it is by using Streamlabs OBS, but I only have that set up for one person right now. If y'all will give me a few moments to set up for both Smoking Patriot and myself, we'll be back. I mean, I don't think that this is going to work itself out on its own. How about you, Common?
I mean, on my end, everything seems fine. But I mean, if you're having, I mean, you're the host. If you're having issues on your end, that's going to affect the stream. Even if it's fine on my end,
Yeah.
the stream's nothing if it shits out on your end.
Well, I'm trying to make sure that there are no unnecessary downloads occurring right now, and right, that's closed. That's closed. Bear with me 1 second, folks. All right. Hang tight, folks. I'm going to do a reset of the router. I will be back. Common, hang tight. I'm going to do a reset of the router. I will be back.
All right.
All right, I have resetted the router. I'm gonna check the stream on the YouTube end to make sure everything's good. Hopefully, everybody was able to make it back, or eventually makes it back. Sorry about that, folks. Do want to apologize. Technical issues.
Uh,
All part of streaming.
Pretty much. I mean, honestly, if you've never had technical issues as a streamer, I question your streaming.
What do you mean you've never had any technical issues during the stream?
Seriously, it's like if you ask it, yeah.
And Leia Rose was saying that she liked Shang-Chi, but did not like the girlfriend. She looked like trouble. Yeah. And Zach was saying Disney's actively pushing away their most loyal fan base. Yet, yes, they are. I used to pull my kid out of school to see new Marvel movies. He picked school over Shang-Chi and the Eternals. That's bad. Yeah. When you're losing the teenage audience or you're losing fans who are even in our age group who have enjoyed these movies, well, guess what? Mickey's not going to get the cheddar.
Nope. Nope. I mean, you're not going to get the thrill of a major Marvel movie coming out again. You
No,
know, you're not
that
going to get the hype at the theater.
that whole buildup is gone now.
Oh yeah, yeah. The build-up's gone. It's like with Star Wars. You know, if you ever listen to Jeremy or Ryan, they will say every time, Star Wars is dead. But I heard Ryan and Jeremy both say something interesting a day or two ago. They said
Okay.
Star Wars is dead as long as it's in the hands of Disney. They said if you put Star
There,
Wars in the hands of, say, Universal or Sony, or you put it in, or even in the independent media's hands, you know, Star Wars would have the room to actually thrive again. It would have an actual chance. But under the Disney banner, Star Wars is dead. And I had
yeah.
never heard them say that before. So to me, in my mind, as people who said I've forever sworn off Star Wars, to Star Wars is dead so long as Disney has it. So I'm thinking in my mind, well, maybe that's what we need to do. Maybe we need to literally make Star Wars such a bankruptcy for Disney that they're like, shit, like we need to get rid of this because it's costing us that much money.
Yeah, and take a look at Ghostbusters Afterlife. That's a movie that paid respect to what came before, and it's doing as well as you can expect in these current times. Imagine if Disney had paid even 1/10 of the ounce of respect that Ghostbusters Afterlife did for The Force Awakens, The Last Jedi, and The Rise of Skywalker. And yes, I said that
Mm-hmm.
last part on purpose. Imagine how fan reception would have been if we, as I've said before, as if we have gotten that reunion of Han, Luke, and Leia. That's all we wanted. Yes, you could say in Ghostbusters Afterlife we didn't get the true reunion of all four Ghostbusters. That's true. That's true. Unfortunately, Harold Ramis passed away 7 years ago. But one thing the movie did do, and I think I can say this now since the movie's been out for almost 2 weeks, they paid homage to what came before. They respected what came before. And they made a tribute out of it.
Yep.
And if you ever get a chance to see it, go see it. So let's go ahead and get to one of the articles of discussion that I have on the thumbnail. And this is from Stereo Gum. It says Brian May blasts Brit Awards for adopting gender neutral categories. Says Queen would never be woke enough today. We would have to have a trans person. And the reason why I chose this article it isn't just because of what's currently going on in current year, but also because I'm a big fan of Queen. It says Queen guitarist Brian May has a bone to pick with the Brit Awards, which recently adopted gender neutral categories beginning in 2022, scrapping the male solo artist, female solo artist, international male solo artist, and international female solo artist. A lot of the themes work quite well and can be left alone. The Queen guitarist tells The Mirror, I get so sick of people trying to change things without thinking of the long term consequences. Some of these themes are an improvement, some of them are not. It says May believes there is an atmosphere of fear everywhere because people are afraid to say how they really think. I think so many people are feeling, hang on, this isn't quite right, but they don't dare say anything. Eventually, there will be some kind of explosion. He says, the late Freddie Mercury, who died 30 years ago this week, would have found today's PC culture difficult. Freddie came Freddie came from Zanzibar. He wasn't British. He wasn't white as such. Nobody cares. Nobody even ever discussed it. May begins. He was a musician. He was our friend. He was our brother. We didn't have to stop and think, oh, now should we work with him? Is he the right color? Is he the right sexual provocativity? I'm just going to skip that word because I can't say it tonight. And goes on to say, none of that happened. And no, I find it frightening that you have to be so calculating about everything. Goes on to say, he argues that even Queen would not be considered woke enough by today's standards. We would be forced to have people of different colors and different sexes, and we would have to have a trans person. Life doesn't have to be like that. We can be separate and different. And it says, of course, this was updated on November 28th. It says that Brian May issued an update on Instagram. He says, yes, I was ambushed and completely stitched up by a journalist at a recent TV event. And it's led to a whole mess of press stories making it look like I'm unfriendly to trans people. Nothing could be further from the truth. My words were subtly twisted. I should have known better than to talk to those predatory press hacks. Sincere apologies to anyone who has been hurt by the stories. My heart is as open as always to humans of all colors, all creeds, all sexes and sexualities, all shapes and sizes, and all creatures. We all deserve respect and equal place in this world. And my grateful thanks to all of you who stepped up to defend me in the last couple of days. It means so much that you have faith in me. Love, Bri. So, okay. Patriot, Chet, what do you think?
Well, he had me and then he lost me. Because, he went and said the honest truth. Basically, like, I don't care all this stuff and everything. Having this stuff is what makes us human, male, female, that stuff. So he went on this really great tirade rant. And I'm like, okay, you're okay, good. And then he says, well, yeah, but then a few days later I clarified, and he pretty much almost walked back almost everything to an extent that he had said when he was first asked the questions. So I'm like, you chickened out.
Yep.
You chickened out. You had the opportunity to be like, damn right I said this stuff, okay? You know, Freddie Mercury was not exactly the most noblest of people. He you know, it's no secret what Freddie Mercury was. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
it's not like a hidden secret that people discover now. I've just discovered like yesterday, kind of thing. So everybody didn't care because do you know what? Everyone loved who Freddie Mercury was. The man was a phenomenal artist. He was a phenomenal singer. I mean, he was like dying of AIDS. And I forget which
Mm-hmm.
song it was. He pretty much like did like several shots at once. And then because I can't remember which song it was, and he says, all right, let's do this, and they did it in one take. And the version of that song we know today is the only version they did in one take. And this guy is dying. He just throws back vodka and says, "All right, let's do this," and they knock it out of the park first take. I mean, stand up. I'm tired of entertainers. I'm tired of people deciding that, well, I'm gonna be say what I really think and then walk it back all because the press got a little too unhappy with me. It's like fucking grow a pair of balls. I'm sorry. Did you lose those over your time of getting old? Did they shrivel up into nothing? If you're gonna say something, say it.
Mm-hmm.
Say it and then stand by it. Because damn it, guess who we constantly hear usually do the exact same thing? Other people who are just trying to be politically correct. They'll say what they originally think, then they will walk back either most or not, or they will either walk back most, if not all of it, to quote unquote correct what they actually meant.
Mm-hmm.
And in that case, you might as well have just never said anything at all. It would have been
Yeah.
far better.
Yeah. I was taught to, own up to what you said. If you say
Hmm.
something and it's wrong, you own up to it. You say, yes, I did say that. And in this case, he should have said, yes, it is what I said. And, you know, maybe he does believe what he says. You never know. In that first interview, maybe he does feel that way. Well, own up to it.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
not saying what he said is right or wrong. I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying own up to it.
yeah, and that's my thing. I mean, do I agree with maybe the way he worded every little thing in that statement or anything like that? No. The point I'm making is that he said something, he meant it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that was what he actually thought. So then just stand by it and say, damn it, yeah. Now, maybe you refine and clarify a few things because maybe some people were kind of confused or whatnot by what you actually meant. So maybe, yeah, you do clarify one or two little things, but you don't pretty much walk back the whole thing because then what the hell was the fucking point of actually saying anything to begin with?
No point at
What was the
all.
point? Yeah, no point at all. In fact, you wasted everyone's time. You could have
Mm-hmm.
just said, no comment. That's all you had to say.
Yeah. No comment has always worked. And then get up and
Hmm.
walk away.
Yeah. So, you know, I mean, he had the chance to impress, and I thought he was going to, and then at the end of it, he dropped them. He dropped it. He dropped it.
That he
So,
did. And it's unfortunate. So let's get on to the Spider-Man news. Got it here. Okay, so this is coming from Bounty in the Comments. It's by Spencer McCauley. It was published a couple of days ago. And it says Spider-Man No Way Home BarkBox promo art appears to confirm return of Tobey Maguire. It says despite his the best attempts by Marvel, Sony, and Disney to keep his return under wraps, a new piece of promo art for Spider-Man No Way Home appears to confirm the debut of the original cinematic web simulator himself. Tobey Maguire in the Marvel Cinematic Universe's upcoming Marvel multiverse, the multiverse of madness is next Doctor Strange movie. Well, it says shared to Twitter on November 24th by user Dominic Kravitz. The piece of the promo art can be seen on an insert included in a recent edition of BarkBox, which saw Marvel team up with the dog toy subscription box service. So, any of you who have pets, well, BarkBox. But, anyways, box service to send customers a special release filled with a number of Spider-Man No Way Home themed items for their canine. Goes on to say the art itself features an image of Tom Holland's Peter Parker clad in the updated form of Spider-Man. And it goes on to say that presumably the dog consumer company or Doctor Strange's misfire, yada, yada, yada. Anyways, it's talking about how the user looked at the box, and as you can see here, I'll zoom in on it. But yeah, you can see Tobey's Spider-Man right here. So there you go.
Which I knew that even before this article, because
Yeah.
when that first trailer came out, what was it, a week or two ago, um, there was something in the Brazil cut of that trailer,
Yep.
and the funny thing is, it was actually a YouTuber. He hangs out with Geeks and Gamers a lot. He doesn't have a lot of subs, but he hangs out with them a lot. Lyndon. He was the first one I saw to break the news on that moment. That he's like, whoa, why is this punch coming in lower than where Spider-Man is? Why is Lizard Man here getting punched, but there's nothing there? Did they digitally edit out Andrew and Toby
Well,
in this and everything? Because there was supposedly leaked pictures of the set where it showed all three of them in their respective Spider-Man outfits. Yeah, right there. Yeah, see, yep, right there. He gets punched, and then look where, and then where Sandman, where his punch is, it's going below where Spider-Man is. If you watch where relation where Spider-Man is, where the punch is, it looks like it's lower than him. So, yeah,
yep.
I mean, here's the thing. You can't bring in all these baddies because you've got Electro, Lizard Man, Sandman, Green Goblin. So you can't bring in those four against one Spider-Man. It's like you need, and then since you're bringing them in from the various other multiverses that we know of, the Andrew Garfield and the Toby, you're going to have to bring them in because their respective villains are showing up in these now.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't make sense it doesn't make sense that they wouldn't have them in there. Now I think that this movie is literally just going to be nostalgia bait. So if it does good in the box offices, it's because it's literally strictly nostalgia. I mean, for God's sake, Jamie Foxx is returning as Electro, and then what's his face is returning as um, um, Doc Ock. You know,
Yeah, Alfred Molina.
thank you. Yes, I always forget his name. So I mean, you're bringing in some big name actors already. You know, you're bringing in some big name villains that I mean, I remember seeing Green Goblin when the first Toby movie came out in theaters. It was so packed actually. They had oversold the theater, so our time got bumped back by an hour. So it was supposed to be like a 2 something show time and it ended
Hmm.
up being almost like a 4 o'clock show time because they had oversold our theater. So they bumped us to the next one and said, you know, you guys are actually going to be in this one because we oversold this theater. How you oversold sell a theater, I have no clue, but that was their excuse. But I saw that in theaters. I've seen every single Spider-Man movie up until the Tom Hollands in theaters when they came out. So, you know, I I want this movie to be good because you're bringing in the GOAT. You're bringing in Toby, best
Yeah,
Spider-Man in the world. Sorry,
everybody
Tom
loves him
Holland,
as
Andrew
Spider-Man.
Garfield. You two combined aren't as good as Toby was, man. Toby was just. Mm. Whew.
He was perfect as the role of Peter Parker and as the role of Spider-Man.
He
Perfect
was.
balance.
Yep. Yep. He was. And the thing I liked about him is that they actually show him in the first movie, he's high school. The second one, he's in that transitional phase where he's going from high school to adulthood. He's trying to work his way through college. He's trying to do college. And then the third one, that's more the college. So you actually see him more maturing into the Spider-Man that we know. You
Hmm.
know, where if you read the comics, he's not like a boy wonder. He's actually a man. You know, I know there's other various iterations, but at least the comics I read, he was a man. He wasn't a high schooler.
Yep.
Um, and that's one thing that Andrew Garfield and the Tom Hollands they never seem to get away from was he's always in high school. Why can't Spider-Man grow up? What's wrong with him growing up? You know, so
Hollywood can't think that far forward. They think that the character of Peter Parker has to consistently be a high school student.
true, true.
And that's not the case. I mean, we've seen it in the comics. Like you said, we saw it in the 3 Sam Raimi movies. I mean, characters need to grow. Sorry, Hollywood, but characters need to grow. I don't care what show it is. I don't care what movie it is. If it's movies or a series of seasons for different TV shows, you have to let your characters grow, and it has to come naturally. You can't be forced. A lot of people are tired of things being forced. And if you don't like it, well, I don't know what else to tell you. But we as consumers are tired of things being forced. I know I am. I can't speak for Patriot, but I know I am.
Yeah, I mean, I'm tired of, and it's like, you know, the two YouTubers I've heard this say that I've heard, or the only two that I've heard say this at least with any element of regularity, is Razor Fist
Mhm.
and Gary Nerdrotic. They both have said it's seasons. You'll get a season of a certain genre, and it'll last for anywhere from 10 to 20 years, depending on the genre, where they just pump out movies left and right of this specific genre. And then
Mhm.
they do amazingly well. And then after a bit, they go away because people get tired of them. And then you'll get your occasional one that will come out and it'll go away for go away for 10 or 15 years maybe and then make a recurrence again. You know, both Gary and Razorfist have said the superhero movies are on the back end. Like they're in that near expiration phase of popularity right now because that's all we got. We got, three. We got. I mean, just think about this, okay? Go back 11 years, okay? We have gotten. We had however many Marvel movies. I've lost count of how many Marvels. We've gotten all the Marvels, 3 Superman, Batman versus Superman, Justice League, 2 Suicide Squads, Birds of Prey, Shazam. So if you take all the Marvel, all the DC, you're looking at easily, what, 40, 50 movies probably?
Or more.
Or more. That's a hell of a lot of superhero-esque movies to come out within 10 years, And now go back to, what was it, 08, 07, 08, when the first Iron Man came out?
Oh, wait.
Something along those, 08, yeah.
It was
go
08 because I
08.
remember going to see it.
Yeah. So
I
08,
mean, it's oversaturation is what it is, brother.
Even, let me put it this way, even when it comes to sci-fi, you never got this level of saturation with sci-fi, ever. Horror, you did. Horror, you got, holy shit. Do you remember those, like, it was several years in a row? There was at least probably 10 horror movies a year coming out. Do you remember that? It was a couple of years ago. It finally kind of started to taper off, but it was like at least 10 horror movies a year.
Yeah. You know what year
Yeah.
it seemed like to me where there were a lot of horror films coming out? 2003. It seemed like there were so many coming out where I lost track. There was Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Freddy versus Jason. I think there was also Alien versus Predator. You know, and several others. It's like you guys are overloading the market. I don't care what it is, action, sci-fi, whatever. You just got to stop overloading the market. Now, maybe, I'm just speaking from my naive, imbecilic point of view, but that's what they've been doing for these past 20 years when it comes to comic book movies. Operation.
Yeah. I mean, because fantasy, you've never had that. Sci-fi, you never had that.
No.
The only other time you ever truly had that was, like, I guess you could say in kind of like the 80s and early 90s for about between 10, 15 years was shit tons of action movies.
Yep.
A lot of the Sylvester Stallone, Sloane and Schwarzenegger were the two big ones, but you had others in the mix there too. But
Charles Bronson.
Yeah,
he was a big action star at the time. And
Charles Bronson was. I mean, but that's the thing, is that we've never had a saturation of this level as we have between the Marvel and DC, starting in 08 and going up till now. That's only 13 years. 13 years with at least 60 movies. That's 4 movies a year.
Well, even take a look at Star Trek, especially during the 80s, going into the 90s. You had the movies, you had Next Gen, Deep Space Nine, Voyager, and some more movies in between. And then, of course, you had Enterprise. Even Star Trek fans were oversaturated and were saying, okay, slow down.
Yeah, that's true.
This is just the emergency broadcast system. Hey, Darius, you want to come on? Love to get a third person's perspective. But yeah, I mean, there was a serious point where I was thinking to myself, there's just too many comic book movies coming out. I mean, leading up to Infinity War and Endgame, you had so many movies coming out in between, and some movies would come out, a couple of months apart, 3 months apart, and within the same year, you might have 2, 3, 4 movies. Just ridiculous.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
But
I mean, yeah, I mean, I don't. I mean, here's the thing. I like a good Marvels. I like a good superhero movie, but they've all just melded together to where there's nothing special anymore. You
mhm.
know, the first Thor comes out, seeing Thor wielding, you know, uh, Mjolnir, Mjolnir. When you first see him doing that, and he's spinning it around and he's hurling it and then summoning it back to him, and you're like, holy shit, we're actually seeing Thor on screen. And then you saw Iron Man, you're like, holy shit. And then Captain America, you're like, oh my god, this is Captain America. Look at him, look what he's doing. And then initially it was like, holy shit, you were seeing things that you had never seen before in a movie to a degree that were just mind blowing.
Mhm.
Now it's just white noise. Nothing stands out anymore.
Well,
Nothing stands out.
I was gonna say, even when you watch these movies, there's no imagination left.
Mm-hmm.
They're all starting to look exactly like their predecessor. It's all copy and paste, cookie cutter. But getting to other Spider-Man No Way Home news, and this is from CNBC, and it's talking about Spider-Man No Way Home ticket demand crash box office sites, and that's a good thing. Well, to be fair, yes, Disney is a part of this movie, but this is being completely controlled by Sony.
Mm-hmm.
And it says at midnight on November 29th, tickets for the latest Marvel Cinematic Universe film, Spider Man No Way Home, went on sale, crashing domestic movies ticket sales. It says this kind of fever has not been seen at the box office since 2019, when advance tickets for titles like Avengers Endgame and Star Wars Rise of Skywalker went on sale. Well, I didn't pay for my ticket to Rise of Skywalker. I had a free movie pass I was given, so that's how I went and saw it.
You bucked the system.
Yes, I did.
Nice.
It said box office analysts say it's a positive sign for the movie theater industry. Well, we all know why. I- We've already talked about it. We all know why. And it says when the clock struck midnight on November 29th, tickets for Spider Man No Way Home went on sale. Within minutes, domestic movie ticket sites began to crash as moviegoers rushed to snag seats for one of the most anticipated films of the year. Okay, it goes on to say it is something that the box office has not experienced since the pandemic began, and a sign that with the right releases, the movie theater industry has a bright future, experts say. Yeah, but again, we have to get those right releases. How many
Mm-hmm.
right releases are we going to get in the future? Not too many.
No.
I'd be interested to know how the ticket sales for The Matrix go when the pre sales are available, if they're not already.
Yeah, I mean, considering that you get, because I saw like a trailer like on was it, like Instagram, something like that, one of them social media sites, and it was like the movie, the sequel you've all been waiting for, and I'm thinking, no, I don't know one
No,
person that was that. that was clamoring for a fourth Matrix movie.
I
Considering,
wasn't.
I mean, here's the thing: if they had done a fourth Matrix movie, because the last one came out in what, mid 2000s, right? It was like what, 03?
2003 was the last one because I
Okay,
went and saw
so
it with a friend.
right, yeah. So 03. So imagine if it's 2005 or 6, several years later. I'll even go give you 2010. If they'd come out with a sequel then, a fourth one, I would have questioned it, but I would have been like, okay, we're talking 2003. We're 18 years later. What? Why are we getting a fourth movie 18 years later? Who has been screaming? Where are the masses screaming for a freaking fourth movie?
Not me.
I mean,
How about you, Darius? But I mean, that's why I like how Robert Zemeckis and Bob Gale have control over what happens for Back to the Future.
mm-hmm.
You know, the studio keeps coming to them saying we want to reboot Back to the Future. They keep saying no. Even Steven Spielberg says no.
Yeah, which is the correct answer.
Mm-hmm.
You don't reboot that because here's the thing: A, it's a classic. You don't fuck with a classic.
Mm-mm.
That's A and B really. C, the effects and everything are amazing just the way they are because they're very unique to the time when it came out.
Mm-hmm.
So doing it today would give it a very, yes, it might look visually like visual eye candy. You know, you're getting visual gasms left and right. You know, your eyes are just shaking because they're just, and whatnot, because you're just like, oh my God, I can't handle this. But the thing is, at the end of the day, it might look cool in the moment, but I guarantee you it has no longevity to it. The effects of Back to the Future that I still remember as a kid, those effects will never go away to me. To me, that's Back to the Future for me. Putting a modern take on Back to the Future, first of all, let's just say you did reboot it. What the fuck vehicle are you going to use in place of a DeLorean? A vehicle that is only out there still because they made so many and there were so many spare parts, and it had a cult following enough to where it kept the vehicle going.
Yep.
You
I
know,
remember the first time I saw DeLorean in person. I'm all, oh, an actual DeLorean.
last year I finally saw one last year in person. I was door dashing, and I used to live in Florida, so I had picked up an order beachside. So I
Mhm.
go, pick it up, and I pull up I pull up to the guy's house, and I see a DeLorean, not covered or anything, right there in the driveway. I'm at this point like about to literally just pass out, like faint and hit the ground, passed out, food in hand still. I was having such a geekgasm, I can't even begin to describe it. And so I go up deliver his I go up to deliver it and everything. So thank you. I said, sir, can I just ask you just one quick question? He said, yeah. I said, can I get a few photos of your DeLorean, because I've never seen one in person aside from, like the ones that you'll rarely see on the road driving by, but like actually just parked right there. Can I get a few photos? I'll blur out the license plate and any other sensitive identifying information, but can I just get a few photos of it? And the guy was just hammered as hell. I mean, he reeked of weed and everything. He's like, yeah, man, go for it. Knock yourself out. So I go and I get like three, like four. I was like 4 or 5 photos, and I went with my photo editing, and I blurred out all the license plate wherever it showed up and anything else that might be sensitive. But I'm like, holy shit. I want. I don't know, Mike. Do you want a DeLorean, by the way? If you could own
Yes,
one, would you?
you kidding? I'm 43 years old. I saw Back to the Future when I was 7 years old. I still want a DeLorean. It doesn't have to look like the DeLorean did in Back to the Future. Just
Yep.
having a DeLorean.
Yep. I mean, as I don't know if did you ever see Jay Leno when he actually drove a DeLorean?
I did.
And he's like, wow, this thing is not actually as sporty as you think it would be.
Nope.
For such a cool looking car.
No,
But
I seem to recall him saying that he was cramped driving it because
yeah, he said it was
he's a tall guy.
Yeah, he said it was cramped, underpowered. It's cramped, it's underpowered. He said that you cannot keep it outside because the gold doors were such a unique thing back when it came out that they don't properly seal very well. So he said you got to keep it indoors, like or at least under a tarp of some kind, like a what do they call them, the car blanky things, to keep moisture from getting in. But he said it's an iconic car. There's nothing like it. She's like, you got to drive one at least just to say you drove one. But he's like, if you're getting this thing expecting like to drive like you would a Porsche or something like that, don't. He said it's an underpowered, cramped vehicle.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I've only been to Universal Studios once, and that was Universal Studios Hollywood when I lived out in California. And I'll tell you right here, right now, if there was a chance to actually sit inside the actual screen used DeLorean and get my picture taken, I would have taken it.
I mean, there's no argument. I actually, the DeLorean I saw was they had one at Universal Orlando, but I don't think it was the actual screen. So they said, "Oh, this is the actual DeLorean used on screen," and I'm like, that car seems a little bit smaller than a standard car should be. Like that, like maybe that was like one of the mock vehicles that they used for like certain shots and everything. But I don't think that was the one that was actually driven in the movie. But yeah, like it was. You can buy DeLoreans. They're not cheap. I know. I've looked.
They're very expensive.
They are
very expensive.
Yeah, and living here in Tennessee, because they're underpowered, they wouldn't do too well going up hills and everything like that. So I wouldn't want to have one and just struggle with it. Now, if I lived in, if I lived in a more flat place, like if I had lived in Florida, well, then yeah, probably do it there.
Yeah, I mean, even the area I live in, there's no hills. It's all flat. So, would I want to drive a DeLorean by the ocean? No.
Yeah.
Get that salt air on that stainless steel? No.
No. I mean, now if you're constantly maintaining it, then that salt air getting on there doesn't mean anything then, because you would just wipe it off because you're regularly maintaining it.
But if you were to say, and like you're saying, leave it outdoors where the doors don't seal that well, around here, you're just asking for trouble with how often it rains and. But this article says the pandemic battered cinemas, crushing demand and nearly bankrupting some of the industry's largest exhibitors. The box office has been slow to rebound, but sustained momentum over the last 6 months has provided confidence in an eventual recovery. Overnight, the latest installment of the Marvel Cinematic Universe and co-production between Disney and Sony has sparked even more optimism. Ticketing sites like Atom Tickets, Fandango, and MovieTickets.com, alongside movie theater sites like AMC, Cinemark, and Regal, saw a surge of demand for tickets, leading many to crash or place visitors in hour-long online queues. So, I don't know if I necessarily have to read the rest of this article, but because, like I've said, we all know why. We all know why people are buying tickets for this movie. Heck, I was talking to Spock's Friday Nights the other night, and he's excited about seeing this next Spider-Man movie because when the first Spider-Man movie with Tobey came out, he was around. Well, he was told me he was born. So he was around 6 years old when that first one came out. So he was the prime age for that movie. And, he said to him, Toby is Spider Man. He liked Andrew Garfield, but Toby is Spider Man.
Yeah.
So I can pretty much, that's like me, watching the Back to the Future movies at 7 years old and say they were going to bring both Michael J. Fox and Christopher Lloyd back as Doc and Marty for one last run. Of course, I'd want to go see it. Would it be any good? Who knows?
No, it wouldn't be.
But yeah.
Considering there's no way you can make a fourth movie and have it be successful, because remember, the DeLorean was smashed to bits. Doc, his wife, and 2 kids, they are basically traveling through time, living their lives out, aboard a time traveling steam train. Marty's happy. Him and Jennifer are happy. They learn very valuable life lessons throughout the 3 movies. They're much better people now. So you'd have a lot of plot holes to fill if you made a movie now. Because remember, according to Back to the Future, we are 6 years past when they arrive in the future.
Mm-hmm.
So how the fuck do you make today look like 6 years further in the future from when supposedly what the future, do you see where we're, it's like, what plot do you even do that forces Doc? There is none. Yeah. Because Doc would have to come back, and then Back to the Future, I get called the hero vehicle. It's not a hero vehicle, but you throw it in the same category. The time traveling DeLorean. You don't have a whole lot of DeLoreans out there to spare to remake remake however many DeLoreans you would need for a filming.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't want to CG that. For Back to the Future, you want as much practical effects as possible and only really use CG for any flying shots or the time travel shots. Aside from that, you need it as practical effect as possible, and that means you need cars. A lot of DeLoreans, and there ain't that many out there.
Mm-hmm. Well, also, even if you do the special effects, CG is great and all, but can you make them look as close to the original effects as possible? Not really.
Yeah.
Not really, because it won't have the same look.
Yeah, it wouldn't. It wouldn't. And that's the thing is that that's the problem that they have with this Matrix movie. Is you want to you want to do this 4th movie 18 years later. It'd be the same if you did Back to the Future, except Back to the Future would be way worse. Because at least with the Matrix, you left it open-ended to where, maybe something. But with Back to the Future, it was sealed off. Doc lives happily ever after. Marty lives happily ever after. Both have learned very, very valuable life lessons. Like, Hollywood,
Yeah,
leave our classics alone. Create new shit, damn it.
and I'm just going to quote Marty here and Back to the Future 3. You know, when Needles pulls up at the intersection and Back to the Future 2 would explain that Marty got into the accident with the Rolls Royce and it damaged his wrist and he gave up on his music. Well, in part 3, they're at the intersection. Needles is ready to race. He's got the trucking gear. And as soon as the light turns green, Marty's truck is in reverse and Needles' truck is going forward. And Marty pulls around in a 90-degree angle. And he and Jennifer are looking out the back window, seeing Needles speed up the roadway. And then out comes the Rolls Royce. And Needles' truck has to swerve to avoid hitting it. And you hear Marty and Jennifer gasp. And Jennifer even says, "Are you kidding me?" And Marty says, "What, do you think I'm stupid enough to race that asshole?"
Yeah. Well, because remember that Marty, remember Jennifer knew what happened.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because she had the facts from the future when
Right.
Marty was fired.
And but the thing that changed in that moment, because like, Jennifer knew, but Marty didn't.
Mm-hmm.
But Marty had grown through the movies to learn that you can throw insults. He matured. I mean, for
Yeah.
fuck's sake, he was literally shot at. He rode horseback, catching up to a train. You know, he fucking jumped off of buildings. He was chased by cars. I mean, he went through a fucking shit ton through the 3 movies, and he learned very valuable life lessons that matured him. So when that
Mm-hmm.
moment came, he didn't take it as a you just challenged my manhood. He's like, all right, I'm gonna let you think I'm gonna race you. So I'll act the part up until the moment when instead of putting it into first gear, he put it into reverse
Yeah.
because
Because as we
he had learned.
yeah, because as we saw in Back to the Future 2, when he's at the high school trying to get the sports almanac back, Biff calls him chicken and he stops and says, "What'd you call me?" And then of course that's
Mm-hmm.
when his other self comes racing out from the Enchanted Undersea dance, out of the gym and whacks him. And then Biff finds out that Marty has the sports almanac hidden in his coat pocket.
Yep.
Well, we could go on and on with a Back to the Future discussion. I think one of these streams we should, like we were talking about on Sunday.
Well, supposedly it was gonna be today.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I know, and I saw some articles that I wanted to talk about. So
No,
if
you're
you
good.
wanted, if you want to throw in a Back to the Future discussion, we can do it. I'm flexible, dude.
I mean, honestly, with Back to the Future, we could easily go a couple hours easily.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying we would, but like, you know, there's enough there for us to want to talk about with Back to the Future.
Yeah,
That
especially when you're talking about all 3 movies.
oh yeah, so but yeah, that could be its own stream. We just got to actually purposefully plan on that on a stream, you
Okay.
know.
How about
So
next
when
Wednesday?
I don't know.
How about next
Um,
Wednesday?
next
Because
Wednesday.
remember, this Sunday I'm having my 100 subscriber stream.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah,
how about?
Next Wednesday, and I always throw the caveat out there that
I know.
at the moment, yes, unless something changes, then I will let you know. But next Wednesday, I'm down for a Back to the Future stream.
Okay, sounds good. So let's go ahead and change topics. I know we get off topic a lot on here, but I try to keep this a relaxed situation, a relaxed stream where we can talk about pretty much anything on Pop Talk. But I do try to talk about what's currently going on, but definitely everybody look forward to a Back to the Future stream sometime next week, whether it's next Wednesday or if we schedule another date. Don't worry, it'll come. The future hasn't been written yet. All right, so this is coming from Bounding in the Comics, and it's by JB Augustine, and it says Bruce Campbell officially retires from playing Ash in the Evil Dead franchise. I physically just can't do him anymore. Oh yeah, what, the guy's got to be around what, in his 60s?
Something like that. Well,
I might be off.
no, let me look him up right now. Let me just. Damn it! No, fuck. Bruce Campbell. Bruce Campbell. Let's see here. Scroll down. Born June 22nd, 1958. So, what is that? 70, no, 60, 63?
No, not 63. Give me a second. Let my mind work here. Okay, so
58, 6.
because in 28 he'll be 70. So he's
So 63.
Yeah, 63.
Yeah, so 63. Yeah. So I mean, and remember he did Ash versus Evil Dead, that series, which ended, what was it, several years ago, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So he did that in his late 50s up to 60. And, he played it off. I only saw the first season. But he, you could definitely tell that he was definitely playing a much older Ash in that series.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I mean, I think he needs to just stay. I think he needs to just stay retired, man. Live out your good old days,
Yeah. I mean, he's had a long career. Heck, he was in the first Spider-Man movie. Some people forget that.
Wait, he was?
Yeah,
Who the hell was he in the first Spider-Man movie?
he's the ring announcer during the wrestling segment.
Oh, that's right.
What's your name, kid? The Human Spider. The Human Spider. What kind of name is that? And that's where his character announces him as Spider-Man, and then Spider-Man faces Bonesaw. Yeah, Bonesaw is ready.
Yep.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
I remember that now. Yeah.
that's right. I didn't have to do a Macho Man impression. I wanted to do a Macho Man impression. Ooh, yeah, dig it. Anyways, this article says in a piece of not too groovy news for his fans, actor Bruce Campbell has revealed that he is retiring once and for all from playing humble houseware salesman and boss demon slayer Ashley Ash J. Williams in the Sam Raimi created Evil Dead franchise. Oops. Speaking to Collider in promotion for his new horror comedy film Black Friday, Campbell told the outlet that the reason for his stepping away boils down to age and physical demands of playing such uh, frenetic, part of Ash. My bad. Whatever the click phrase is, I left it all on the table. I've got nothing left to give, he explained. There's not going to be any traditional form of Evil Dead anymore. Ash is gone. I've retired the character because I physically just can't do him anymore. So why bother? I can understand
which
that.
is which I give massive props for.
Mm-hmm.
Some actors just don't know when to stop.
Yeah. Harrison Ford, as much as I like him as Indiana Jones, no, Harrison, why did you sign on for a fifth Indiana Jones movie? Oh yeah, that's right. That was part of the agreement for doing The Force Awakens. I
Mm-hmm.
digress. The article goes on to say retiring Ash after 4 decades was a thought present in Campbell's mind since 2018, and it was thanks to the physical demands of working on the Star series Ash vs. Evil Dead that the decision was made easier for him. During filming of the series from 2015 to 18, he took great pains to take precautions and keep the crew aware of his knee problems. If you saw the emails pleading with various directors that were like, hey, my knee's not working right. Be careful about tomorrow. Let's have the stunt guy nearby. Hey, I can't run anymore. It's just was an endless physical struggle, Campbell said. However, the celebrated actor was happy to do Ash versus Evil Dead as the show dug deeper into the character's history, background, family, and relationships. I'm really glad we did it because we saw Ash home. We went into his bedroom. We met his girlfriends. We met his daughter that we never knew he had, and that he never knew he had. And we met his father, played by the great Lee Majors, said Campbell. I feel we really pushed all the buttons, and he fulfilled his destiny written in that ancient book. I can't even pronounce that. It says he was the guy destined to defeat evil in the past, present, and future, and he took off with a hot robot chick at the end to go kick it in the future. Goes on to say, however, ultimately, Campbell feels Ash's story has been told in full through Ash vs. Evil Dead, as he further noticed that the series story was woven with complete knowledge that its third season would be its last. So the crew set out to end it all in a deliberate blaze of glory. What else do you need? He concluded. We knew the ratings were bad. We knew going into the last season that we had to end because we didn't think Stars was going to re up us, and we were right. So thank God we did that. Yet, despite Campbell's indication that such efforts are for naught, there are a number of petitions, my bad, demanding season 4 and maybe on Netflix season 5. It's no big deal, really, when Ash's adventures can continue in another round of comics. He's resurfaced in the print media before, boomstick in hand, fighting friendly Freddy and Jason, and even meeting another iconic Raimi character in Darkman. If Sam Raimi and Rob Tapert, whose respective direction and production of the first The Evil Dead film launched their careers, decided to continue the Evil Dead film and TV without Ash Williams, the conundrum of filling the void is already figured out, and thankfully, the solution is not to remake the original again. Believing strongly there are more stories, Campbell makes it clear everything in the franchise actually revolves around the Deadite summoning the Necronomicon. I have no idea. I'd have to hear it first.
Necronomicon.
Okay,
That's
thanks.
how I'm saying it.
Sometimes you have to do it phonetically. It says that darn book gets around, and that's how we play it, he explained. That book wound up in an urban environment with a single mom, so let's see what happens. It's fun to fiddle with it. Though he has closed the Necronomicon, that's what I'm going to say it, on Evil Dead, or I'm just going to say, though he has closed the book. Let's just say it that way. Though he has closed the book on Evil Dead, Bruce Campbell isn't leaving the horror genre behind anytime soon. His latest slasher hijinks transpires in Black Friday, co-starring Chucky and Final Destination actor Devin Swana. And it says it's out now on video on demand. Goes on to say, hopefully, before he retires from horror or acting completely, Campbell has enough left in him to finally make that long rumored Bubba Hotep sequel. After all,
Never even heard of
everybody,
it.
me either, everyone liked Bubba Hotep. Well, sorry, I've never heard of it.
Yeah.
Hell,
And
Brian,
I'm not
hell.
surprised he's leaving the role. I'm not surprised. I mean, it's a very physically demanding role. It's not like um, other actors, they can go in and reprise their roles because they're not as physically demanding, you
Mm-hmm.
know. But Ash is a very physically demanding role, you know,
Yeah,
and you can't just sorry, don't know where that came from. You
it's
can't
all right,
just be
brother.
like, um, yeah, we're gonna take Ash and we're gonna do that. No, it's like no, no. Let Ash had a good run. Just
Mm-hmm.
don't don't keep bringing him back just because you like more Ash. Because guess what? Not every character is meant to have a long lifespan. Some characters, they're meant to be for a few movies or series at most. They're not meant to be three movies and a whole movie and a 3 episode, sorry, a 3 season arc. They're not meant for that.
No, but you know how Hollywood is. Even when the characters aren't meant for that, they still like to drag them on and on and on. And even when the fans say, "Okay, enough," they don't listen.
Yeah, they don't care.
No. All right, we got
No.
some Book of Boba Fett news for anyone who's interested. I don't know if I'm going to review it or not. I'm going to have to see the first episode and then decide whether it's even worth doing a whole series of reviews. I don't know because I've seen the first two trailers they've put out. They put out one just recently, and I'm thinking, okay, but you're still not giving me a reason to tune in every week.
Hmm.
What's the hook? That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for the hook.
Yeah, yeah. Again, like it seems like an unnecessary show to me.
That's because it is, because in some people's minds, Boba Fett died in that Sarlacc pit. I know I was surprised to see him back in last season of Mandalorian. It's like, wait a minute. He became Sarlacc food.
Right, and I'm sure that you know, we're gonna um I'm sure that supposedly we're gonna get a explanation as to how sorry, hang on.
It's all right, brother. Take your time.
Whew, sorry, had some water and it went down the wrong pipe and I was trying to recover.
I've been there, brother. I understand. It's never
um
fun.
okay, anyways. Oh, what was I gonna say? Let's say. Oh yeah. So the thing is that the Book of Boba Fett, they're trying to capitalize on for nostalgia purposes. But the thing is, the only people who give two shits about Boba Fett is anybody who is in their probably late, I'd say around 30 years old at least. That's the bare, like, if you were born in the 70s, the 80s, and early 90s, you loved Boba Fett. You knew who Boba Fett was. If
Yeah,
you
I
were
mean,
born mid late 90s, by the time you grew up, you didn't know who Boba Fett was, at least to a massive extent. Now, that's going on the basis that you didn't have a either a father, uncle, or brother that was not huge into Star Wars. If you did, then you know. But if you didn't, then your exposure to Boba Fett was in the seven was actually it wasn't even the 70s. It was all during the 80s and the 90s. That was your exposure to Boba Fett.
well, that's the thing. Boba Fett and Empire and Jedi, he was such a minor character. There's no way he could have gotten the popularity that he did. But the reason why he gained that popularity was because of the expanded universe.
Right. Yeah. And that just seems like something that people don't um they don't just fully get, you know?
Mm.
And it's kind of something where I'm like, can we just please stop with Star Wars stuff? Like Star Wars had its run. If you want Star Wars to live on, you got to give it a little bit of healing time because right
Mhm.
now, the fans, the true Star Wars fans, they don't want, you know, there's nothing new for them to latch on to. Because remember, Grogu's not in is not in the Mandalorian series anymore. So we don't know how much of a pull the Mandalorian series is going to have now that he's gone from the
Mhm.
series. Am I saying he might not make a recurring he might not make a cameo role or anything like that? No, he obviously could. My point is that um my point is that the Mandalorian needs to stand on its own 2 feet.
It does.
And Grogu was the thing that was keeping it standing up. It wasn't the Mandalorian. So we need to see exactly what the show is going to look like. And I'm going to tell you right now, not every single Star Wars fan that I know, at least, is like hardcore on the Mandalorian bandwagon.
Well, look at Star Trek right now. Nobody
Mm-hmm.
wants Strange New Worlds. Nobody wants Discovery.
That's true.
I mean, I've heard Gary review Discovery. I watched a video of Doomcock reviewing Discovery and a few other people reviewing Discovery, and they're all, I'm skipping it. It's not worth watching. It never really has been worth watching for them, but they got views because of the videos that they did, so they kept watching it. But now it's a waste of time.
Yeah, I mean, I think honestly, I think they watch it just for review purposes. I don't think. I mean, they have no interest and desire to actually wanna to watch it and be because they're fans. They're only watching it because they have to because that's their job basically is pop culture and everything
Yep.
like that. If Gary wasn't as dedicated as he was and didn't have the following he was, you know, that's he wouldn't be doing that. And same with Doomcock. They wouldn't put a second thought into it. But because they have the followings they do, the followings demand that they do it because they know that there's enough people out there that are either A, want to know if it's any good or not before they invest the time, or B, want to hear want someone else to suffer and they kind of live through that person's suffering vicariously.
Yeah.
You know, um, Star Wars and Star Trek. Star Wars could be okay, but being under Disney's thumb, it's not okay. It will never be okay so long as it's under Disney's thumb. Star Trek, on the other hand, is a whole different ball of wax, and Star Trek I don't think will ever be okay because they've clearly seen that the numbers don't justify what they're doing, yet they keep doing it, unless it's for contractual reasons, which we have not heard that is the case.
Yep.
So,
Well, also, they gave Alex Kurtzman that $150 million contract for 5 years. So they're pretty much lock, stock, and barrel in that deal.
yeah, I mean, again, why you'd want to give him such a an amazing deal? I don't know. It's not like he's done anything good for you guys.
Well,
You
he
know,
hasn't.
I mean, because I mean, remember, Star Trek has a much smaller following than Star Wars does.
Mm-hmm.
So that means that with Star Trek, you need to maximize every single morsel of fandom that you can muster for Star Trek. Putting Star Trek behind a paywall is stupid. I say the
Well,
same thing for Disney, by the way. I think that Mandalorian. I think Disney should have a whole new channel on TV, and that should be solely dedicated to all of their series. They have enough series. They have one Star Wars, three Marvel, and then maybe others as well. But like in terms of their big hitters, so it's like, okay, start all your new series. You have a channel dedicated for those. You know, put it out there for the mass public, and you'll really see how popular it is.
mm-hmm.
But they won't.
Oh,
They
well,
won't.
you know, you see how Netflix says goodbye to Discovery because they no longer want it. They no longer want to be the primary source that is providing the resources for the show to even be produced. And then, you know, Paramount CBS ends up putting it on Pluto in international markets. And that's actually one of their own platforms. So in the States and everywhere else, it's behind a paywall. But then you have a service that's absolutely free and people can watch it like they were always able to watch Star Trek. Because I'm sorry, Star Trek should always be available to people for free. Star Wars should be
Hmm.
available to people for free. It shouldn't be a paywall.
Nope. And somebody who I used to know who lived in Ireland, he watched. He already had a Netflix subscription.
Hmm.
That's how he watched Discovery. That's how he watched Discovery was through Netflix
Yeah.
because that's how they did it. And in other countries, If it wasn't on Netflix, it was on Amazon Prime, something that many people have already. They might not ever use Amazon Prime, but they have access to all those movies and TV shows. So you could say, well, those are behind paywalls. Those are behind paywalls that people actively already use. You're just
Mm-hmm.
getting an additional thing out of it. Who wants to sign? I mean, honestly, I have no reason to sign up for anything CBS at
No,
all. So
I
why the
mean,
hell would I want to do that for Discovery?
you wouldn't, and especially if you already have, you know, various seasons or maybe the special DVD sets that they released a few years ago of the various, Star Trek themes like the Borg, the Klingons, time travel. You can buy those DVD sets and you have episodes of Star Trek to watch.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So this article is from Yahoo. It's talking about the Book of Boba Fett. Disney reveals episode count and new details. It's by Jacob Siegel. It was released on Monday, and it says ever since its arrival, Disney Plus has meant very different things to different groups of people. For parents, Disney Plus is a treasure trove of some of the finest animated movies of all time. For Marvel fans, Disney Plus is the place to watch the continuing adventures of their favorite heroes and villains. Yeah, but most people already have those movies, either the digital copies or the physical copies.
Mm-hmm.
And it says Disney Plus is the place to watch the continuing adventures of their favorite heroes and villains. But for Star Wars fans, Disney Plus is it. We have no clue when Disney and Lucasfilm will make another Star Wars movie that will come to theaters. In fact, one was seemingly just delayed or possibly even canceled. It was canceled. And yet the galaxy far, far away still has story to tell on Disney Plus. At that point, Disney finally revealed the episode count for the Book of Boba Fett. Okay, it says the Book of Boba Fett episode count revealed. Fans have been speculating about the Book of Boba Fett for months, ever since it was revealed in the post-credit scene following the season 2 finale of The Mandalorian. Fans have been waiting for any answers. At long last, we're starting to get them. At the beginning of the month, Disney published the first trailer for the spin-off series. Now, nearly a month later, we have Boba Fett's episode counts. As you can see in the tweet below, Boba Fett will last 7 episodes on Disney Plus. Of course, it all begins on December 29th. For comparison's sake, the first 2 seasons of The Mandalorian were 8 episodes. I don't even have to read that sentence to know, since I reviewed both season 1 and season 2. And it
Mm-hmm.
says Disney has made it clear that it isn't too concerned about episode count or the length of those episodes when it comes to original series. Some of the Mandalorian's episodes were less than 40 minutes long, while others were close to an hour. Meanwhile, the first seasons of WandaVision and What If were 9 episodes, while Loki and Hawkeye were 6. And see, getting back to Hawkeye and get back to me saying earlier how I don't like to leave things unfinished. I feel that with Hawkeye only being 6 episodes and I've already watched half the season, I might as well continue on with the other 3 episodes.
Yeah, because you're already
I'm
um
already at that halfway point.
exactly. You're already on your way there.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to just
Up and leave. And
stop now. Yeah, because I mean, you don't know what's going to happen in the next 3 episodes. I mean, again, I think the way I heard it was either Az or Gary said this. They said they don't understand why it's broken up into 6 parts. And then one of them said, okay, think about it like this. Imagine the Justice League broken up into however many episodes. Combine all the episodes together into one very long movie.
Mm-hmm.
You know, which here's the thing, you could easily do with TV shows, but the thing is that a lot of TV shows aren't sequential like this, where it's like one continuing story. That's usually like a main overarching plot with, with a whole bunch of smaller stories. It's not like It's not like a 6 episode arc of one continuing story.
It's
Um,
true.
so that's where when it comes to Hawkeye, I think some people need to just look at it from that perspective. Um, I'm not saying I agree. I'm not honestly. I don't think this damn show should have ever been made to begin with. But
No.
What the fuck do I know?
Well, the thing is, I will admit I was excited when I saw that at the end of the credits because I was still on the high of seeing Luke Skywalker.
Well, that's fair. That's a very fair statement.
It's the truth.
Very, very fair statement. So, I mean, I think that right now, Marvel, Star Wars, they just need to go nighty night for a while.
Yep. A hiatus would do them good.
Very, very good. Now, am I saying it needs to be like 20, 30 years? No, I'm saying give it 3 years. 3 years, no new content. You just let it air out, maybe get some fresh blood in there that with new direction and everything, and then just see what happens. But the thing is that they won't do it for the sole reason of because of Kathleen Kennedy. They will not
Yep.
do it because they do not want to dare upset the women there. They have no desire to upset the women. So they're going to let Kathleen Kennedy keep doing her shit.
I've watched various YouTube channels, so many. I'll admit, it's hard to keep track, but I try to support everybody I'm subscribed to.
Right,
And
yeah.
and I have seen comments from people saying, I'm a woman and I don't like how Hollywood's taking these characters. I don't want to just be given a hand me down type of character. If this
Right,
character's
yeah.
supposed to, be of strength, then I want to see that strength come naturally in the storytelling.
Mhm.
You know, the hero's journey. There's nothing wrong with it. You have to see that character start off at one end of the spectrum in order to get to the other end of the spectrum. Well, they have to have that journey. They have to travel down
Yeah,
that road.
basically, I mean that's why I think I mean I would argue that's why Captain America is so beloved
Hmm.
because of um because it gave us something different. It gave us a true hero story, a guy literally who with nothing, somebody who literally couldn't even defend himself in a fight, who women were constantly looking down on and whatnot, who all he wanted to do was go fight the Germans
Hmm.
because he said, because one doctor says, "Oh, you want to go shoot Nazis, eh?" He's like, "I don't want to shoot anybody. I just don't like bullies. Don't care where they're from." He wasn't a violent person by nature. He
No.
never backed down from a fight, but that didn't mean he was always looking for one. He just didn't like to see a big bully beating up on everyone else. He wanted to stop the bully by any means necessary.
And remember when he was at the army base and Tommy Lee
Hmm.
Jones' character throws a grenade and Steve Rogers is the only one that actually is willing to sacrifice himself by putting himself on top of that grenade and telling everybody to go back. That tells you everything you need to know about the character
Yep, he's
in
willing to
that
do
moment
whatever it
too.
takes to protect others.
Yeah, he's willing to sacrifice himself for others,
Mm-hmm.
and you don't see that in storytelling anymore.
Nope.
You
Nope.
you
You
really
don't.
don't. And
No.
I keep hearing that at some point the pendulum is going, to switch. It's, at this point right now, and eventually it's going to go to this point. Well, to quote a line from Caddyshack, we're waiting.
I think it is swinging, though. I think it
Okay.
already is. Because look at, like, um, when it comes to the Marvel movies that have come out, how they did abysmal. Look at a lot of the movies that people thought were going to do incredible. They
Mm-hmm.
flopped, barely breaking even. And if they made any money, they made so little that there's no way in any person's mind that you would justify making a sequel, knowing that sequels do not have the strongest history of making as much as the original. Some have, yes,
Yeah.
but not all of them. And if your performance on the original was weak enough, why would you think you'd make more on a sequel?
You wouldn't.
So
There,
I
very rare
I think you're starting to see a
exceptions.
pushback to a degree there.
Very rare exceptions where a movie didn't do so well in the theaters, but it still ended up getting a sequel, and that was the first Austin Powers movie. It
Mm-hmm.
didn't do well in theaters, but it did well in video rental and home movie sales.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what earned it its sequel.
Yep. I mean, I can tell you right now. I mean, my dad loves the Austin Powers franchise. Absolutely fucking loves them. My my uncle loves them. You know, and that's the thing is that they 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 bought the the physical media,
Mhm.
and it was when they invited people over that's what spread it. I mean, look at like the last Starfighter or others in that same thing, cult classics. You know,
Mhm.
they were kind of almost pushed aside to a degree. You know, in the box office, but then when it came to home movie sales, that's where they took off. Hence why typically they're called cult classics, is because they didn't do well in movies, in the theaters. But once they came to video, that's when you'd have watch parties, you'd have this, you'd have that, and that's where they would make their money.
Another movie comes to mind is The Big Lebowski. That didn't do well at the theaters, but it
Mm-hmm.
was through watch parties and people, again, buying it on home video, renting it, that it gained
Mm-hmm.
a cult following. I mean, I've been wanting to do a review on The Big Lebowski, but the main thing that's been stopping me is trying to deal with Universal and inserting any clips from the movie and not having Universal put a copyright claim or a copyright strike on the channel.
Yeah, I've heard Universal's an asshole for that.
Yep. That's why when I was doing my Chucky reviews, I didn't include any clips or any video because I did some of them recorded and then I only did 4 of them where it was actually right after I watched the episode, but still, I didn't want to show anything from that episode because of the way Universal is.
Right. makes sense to me.
Well, it made sense to me too, but maybe I'll just do a video of me just talking about the Big Lebowski one of these days because I do have the Big Lebowski's sweater, the Pendleton sweater that he wears.
Yeah. I mean, and that sucks because it's like, we want to show off the, what we love, and like the Big Lebowski. You might not want to put any clips. You just might want to show some photos,
Yeah,
but because places have to be assholes,
even
they
putting in those
prevent it.
photos might give me a copyright claim, and
Right. And the thing is that honestly, here's the thing, because I could go try and find the Big Lebowski and everything like that, but I would rather have somebody who has seen the movie, loves the movie, hear the excitement in their voice. Okay? See some photos and then talk about those photos. And then be like, you know what, this person really liked it. I really want to go see this now. So that way we can compare notes and see, okay, was it really as good as this person did? What did I like? What didn't I like? Blah 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 blah, all that stuff. Um, and that's where when you put these copyright strikes so blatantly like that, what you're actually doing is you're killing the ability to spread the word about it.
mm-hmm.
And I don't know if, I mean, again, if it's following YouTube rules, which I know they change on a regular basis, but
Every day.
yeah. But that being said, if you're following the known rules, then then they shouldn't just be able to just strike you constantly. You're not playing half the movie. You're using a half dozen. You're using a half dozen photos.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, a half dozen photos is not a fucking movie.
No.
It
Even the
just isn't.
reviews where I have included clips, I try to
Hmm.
keep them as short as possible.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So, but that's their loss. That's the way I look
Yep.
at it. It's their
It,
loss.
it's their loss. So, I mean, here we are promoting, one of their movies. It could even be a TV show like The A-Team. I'm just throwing that out as an example. But, you know, these studios have to realize if you want people to purchase your products that you're selling, your DVDs and Blu-rays and stuff, then let the fans talk about it. It's
Yeah.
part of being a fan.
Because trust me, fans talking about it is it's how the word of mouth is. That's how you truly get a growing product. It's
Yep.
the fans. If it weren't for the fans, a lot of these um, franchises and companies, they wouldn't be where they are today. But because the fans are so passionate about various franchises and shit, um, because they're so passionate about it, that's the reason why there's word of mouth. That's the reason why. And these companies are going to learn it one day. You piss off the fans, you get what's coming to you, and no one's going to shed a fucking tear when you go crying about not making enough money.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to cry.
I'm not going to cry for them. I mean,
No.
heck, they seem to forget that at one point when The Godfather was released, it got Paramount out of bankruptcy with how
Mhm.
successful that movie was.
Mhm. But I mean, that would require them having to use an element of common sense, though.
That would require them having to use the most powerful muscle in the human body, the brain.
I think they're thinking with a different head.
Well, I think it's like a certain episode of Star Trek, Spock's brain. They're missing their brain. It's somewhere else. Someone else is using it.
Yeah.
But I know what you mean by your previous comment. I know exactly what you mean. That's why there's the Me Too movement.
Which, you know, I ain't saying that there weren't assholes, and I'm not saying that there ain't assholes that didn't deserve that don't deserve a good Me Tooing. But the problem is the movement started from going after those very, very few. Okay, the ones who truly deserved it, to just going after anybody.
Yep.
You know, I mean, seriously, like as somebody who's in their early 30s, who is well, I mean, I'm dating an amazing woman right now. But when I was single, in between when got happened in between my divorce and starting to date my girlfriend now, um, um, it was the dating scene out there is not easy because the one of the biggest fears for men is if we approach a woman, what's going to happen? Are we going to get me too'd? Because all a woman has to do is say something and she's automatically believed, even though we are completely innocent. Boom, we can lose everything.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I don't want to go down a whole Me Too path. I don't want to go down that right now. So
No. That's not what this is about. Pop Talk, as I've said before, is about talking about, you know, current news stories in the entertainment world and, giving our thoughts and opinions on it. And it's not about discussing politics or anything else that's going on that really isn't the whole purpose of this channel. The whole purpose of this channel is to try to be entertaining as I can, but also try to give you a real perspective, whether it be, reading these news stories on, Spider-Man and, Bruce Campbell and Queen, or me giving a review on a movie or a TV show, or me talking about the Cubs at the end of the day.
yeah.
Hell, Sci-Fi Nation, good to see you, brother. Hope you've been well. Hope you had a nice Thanksgiving. Because, I've been asked by people, well, what can we talk about on Pop Talk? Can we talk about politics? The answer is no.
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
Yeah. I mean, there will be once in a while that politics will come up because
Yep.
unfortunately politics has infected everything now. But
Unfortunately.
there's a difference between talking about something that is politically laced and then overtly talking about politics. There is a radical difference.
It's like,
Yeah.
and I'm going to go ahead and say this now. And I'll also mention it to people, who want to come on. Is that Sunday stream? Absolutely, under no circumstances are anybody, including myself, to mention politics. Anyone who does will be in a timeout. And if I mention politics, that's right. I will put myself in a timeout. I will be in the chat, and whoever wants to take over will take over until my time is up. That's how strict I'm getting with it. That
No.
even though I'm the host, even though this is my channel, if I mention it, I'm going to put myself in timeout. And
Yeah.
why? Because I need to lead by example.
Well, I mean, good. Good for you. And that's and I try and be as respectful of your wishes as possible. Like I don't purposely talk about politics. The only thing I think ever politically I ever talked about was something because it was involving one of the topics you were bringing up. Unfortunately, there were politics laced into it, and that and that's like like I said a few minutes ago. There's a difference between talking about a topic that has politics laced into it, so you can't separate the two, and then just overtly talking politics. There's a complete it's
Yeah,
it's two different things.
You get what I'm getting at. If it's within the topic, well, we're gonna bring it up. So that's one of the exceptions. And I want to welcome Sci-Fi Nation at this time. But if we're just gonna bring up politics out of the blue and start talking about politics, 5-minute timeout.
Nope. All I was going to say is I'm agreeing with what you said earlier. There's a time and place for it. This obviously is not the place for it. So, and you mentioned you would put yourself in a timeout. So, absolutely, my friend. I agree with you with that. There's a time and place for it. These kind of streams are not the place for it.
No.
These streams are for having fun and talking about what brings this community together, not what divides us.
Exactly. It's like, tonight we were talking about how, Tobey Maguire's obviously going to be coming back in Spider-Man No Way Home, where we're talking about Bruce Campbell retiring as Ash.
My favorite Tobey Maguire character was the one in the back seat of the big Cadillac in the movie Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, where Johnny Depp played Hunter S. Thompson.
I have seen it. It's been a while, but I have seen it.
Oh, I don't know if it's the mescaline or all the mushrooms I did. Where are all these bats coming from? And his lawyer has grab the steering wheel. Yeah. That's my favorite Tobey Maguire character right there. The one in the back seat, high on mushrooms, being like,
Yeah.
I just hear high on mushrooms, and I'm like, whew, that sounds like a trippy experience.
Pretty trippy.
Whenever I hear of anything like that in a movie, all I go back to is from what was the name? Oh, the movie Hot Rod with Andy Samberg. When his friend, he was like, yeah, so this guy gave me some of these pills, and I was tripping balls pretty badly. I mean, it was, whoo, buddy, I gotta tell you, that was a different experience.
Yeah, you know what he took? He literally took mescaline, right? And he's just like, trying to play it all cool. Oh yeah, man, it's cool. And he really, in reality, he should have been like, "Oh my god, look at that, no,
yeah,
he should have been tripping fucking balls.
He really should have." But that's why whenever I hear of like someone talk about, oh yeah, this character did this, in this scene, he took this drugs, and he was acting this way. All I can literally think of every time is, so I was tripping balls pretty badly, and
yeah, just don't talk about tripping balls like this.
Well, yeah,
unless you're used to stepping on balls every day of the week.
Yeah, well,
like you're a dominatrix. Really? No, if you trip balls, you trip balls. I'm sorry. You trip balls, you're like, ah! Sorry, Pacific, but that's what you do. You scream literally at the top of your lungs and like, ah! You're tripping. You're tripping. You're tripping.
As it's put in front of all my videos, because I never know what I'm going to say any given video that I record or any given live stream. This may not be appropriate for those under 18.
I'm trying to keep it appropriate. I'm just talking about my volume level.
That's all right. That's all right. It's not bothering me. I can't speak for the Smoking Patriot, but it's not bothering me.
Oh, please. This is nothing. This is child's play.
Oh, well, shit. I was trying to be nice.
Oh no, please no. If you heard some of the random ass conversations we've had while playing War Thunder between Chaos Pacific and I, this is child's play.
I was telling a couple of guys yesterday, all we do when we're playing War Thunder, because the game brings it out of us, is we're cursing like sailors.
Yep. Well, it's
Well, you got to understand, I've only met Pacific like, what, a month ago?
Yeah.
So I'm still trying to be nice.
Be yourself, man.
quotations.
Be yourself.
Well, I could be myself, but I still got to watch myself, though, because this is your channel, and you got, your audience, okay? So I'm going to behave. But
What?
when somebody's talking about, oh, I did this drug, and no, you were like, you're doing this drug. Ah! That's what that drug did to you. You weren't talking like this.
oh god.
Sorry, I'm talking from halfway experience there. Trust me.
All right. Well,
Hey, all right.
you don't hear me complaining.
Not judging. I'm not judging.
All right. You got no judgment on me either. I mean, you're talking to a guy who, let's just say I've had a few experiences and I've been around people who, let's just say I could probably tell a few stories and everything. So.
Oh, I can't.
Yeah.
It's You're not gonna say, "Oh, yeah, I did mescalate." I'm just let me tell you a story. No, it don't work like that. Tell them how you were on the ground screaming like a little bitch because the dust was coming down at you, and you thought they were gonna fucking blow your ass up, dude. Really?
Yeah.
You took too many mushrooms, and the fucking fairy goddesses from the woods were gonna pop your eyes out with their little fucking fairy spears. Come on, fuck out of here.
I mean, I've never had that experience before, but I'm gonna take your word for it on that one.
Yeah, you never done mushrooms. You never done acid. I did a joint one time laced with angel dust. Oh my fucking god. I was in my friend's house. I went to lay down in a spare bedroom, which happened to have the weight machine in it. There was a moon shining through the bedroom window. The weight machine turned into the blob. I was trying to get away from the blob. It was a fucking weight machine that couldn't go nowhere.
Yeah, I mean, granted, I mean, my experience with any drugs is very, very limited. But I was on medication at one point. I was on the equivalency of an upper and a downer with medication, where I literally would go into moments of complete happiness and high, down to literally, I'm like, the world is over. We're all going to die, like within a span of 20 minutes. And this happened for about a month and a half.
The song said, "The world is a vampire." Oh, sorry.
No, like I would literally be. There was one time me and this is what my ex when I was still married at the time. Like I'm out back and I'm just smoking a cigar and I'm just like, okay, it's a nice day. And then all of a sudden I'm like, and all of a sudden it was like I had a brief like moment of just like I don't know what the hell I was going through. But I swear I saw the entire backwoods that were behind our house on fire for a brief second.
I want to say one thing before I make any jokes. I want to say one thing. Mental health is nothing to be laughed at.
Oh no! Oh, trust me, I'm a big proponent of mental health stuff. Trust me.
But with that being out of the way, I'm gonna make some jokes. I had to put the disclaimer in there. For anyone that doesn't know, I use YouTube as my outlet because I have severe anxiety. I cannot be around people. I have social anxiety. If people say they want to go people watch, and I look at them and say, "What the fuck for?" That's what the internet's for. This is really weird. I had public speaking in high school. I also had speech class in high school. I can get up in front of crowds, give speeches all day fucking long, not have a problem with it. You get me in a crowd of people and want me to be social? Not fucking happening. Not happening.
Yeah.
But I can get up in front of people and talk about stuff. And YouTube is kind of like that for me. It lets me talk to people, but at the same time, it lets me socialize with people, get to know people without
Yeah,
actually
because
having to stand next to them.
yeah, because we all go on these different panels, whether it's here on my channel or on your channel Sci-Fi or on your channel Patriot or any other panel, and we converse. We converse from the comfort of our own office, our own house, wherever.
Wherever we're at.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just
Yeah.
weird. I don't know. My anxiety has gotten worse. The older I get, the worse my anxiety gets. I don't know what it is about being around other people. Like in person around other people.
Mm-hmm.
So this is kind of a outlet for me. It's kind of a therapy for me to do this YouTube thing. I don't know if that makes sense.
No,
I mean,
it's a release.
It makes sense to me. I mean, people deal with various things in ways that are most effective. I mean, I remember there was a video I watched, and it was of this guy. He was in his He's in his mid late 20s. Nothing medically could help him with his Parkinson's. I mean, he was like having like full body convulsions at times when at its worst. But guess when the only time when he was not shaking? Take a random guess, and the only time in his life he stopped shaking.
When he had the company of other people?
When he was shooting guns.
Click, click, boom.
He actually, for some reason, you put a pistol, a rifle, a shotgun into his hands,
And he would hold it perfectly steady.
Perfectly steady, dead accurate. He became a competitive shooter.
There was something in his head that said, "This is what I need. This."
Yeah, they called it gun therapy, is what they ended up calling it. And they're like, we don't understand it. He's like dead accurate. He is so fast and everything. When you get him behind a gun, and it's like he never has Parkinson's. But the moment that when he's not holding a gun,
He's like Michael J. Fox. Yeah, it's like
basically he's worse. He's worse than Michael J. Fox. So I mean, that's the thing. I mean, everybody has their various things that they use to help them deal with stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So hey, I mean, if YouTube helps you, Mazel tov, my friend. Keep doing your thing. Keep doing your thing, man. If it helps you.
Thank you, Patriot.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure at one point or another we all thought we'd never be on this platform like we are today.
I never thought I would be. It took somebody a couple years ago to get my courage up enough. I did a couple of videos, and I'm still here 2 years later. Just a little over 2 years later. And hey, Whoopa Troopa, what's up? Good to see you in the chat. But yeah, I'm still here, and I'm supporting my friend Pacific and the Patriot, also known as CSA to me. So
yeah.
That's what we do. I try to support everybody I'm subscribed to. I may not be there every live stream. I may not catch every time they have a new upload because of YouTube notifications, but I try to support everybody.
And I want to give a shout out to Mr. Spot tonight, if I can. He had a Twitter tweet. He reached 100 subs. Right on for Mr. Spock. Right on. That was, when I came into meeting Pacific and Mr. Spock, I said, I want to get you guys to 100 subs. And both of them aren't very far away from it. And Mr. Spock reached that. What was it, yesterday, the day before?
He reached it on Saturday, actually.
Okay, so congrats, guys. I am so glad you guys are getting that way. In Pacific, I know you're going to get there eventually. If you're not already.
I'm already at 116.
Oh, there you go. You both reached 100.
Yeah,
that
and,
was my goal.
and Spock, I think he's at 108, 109, or
There
maybe
you
even
go.
more by now.
Yeah, and you guys were at like what 40 or 50 something when I met you guys, and I said I want to get you guys to 100 subs each.
Well, that's the thing. As the community, we're all trying to support each other because the algorithm's not helping any of us. So we're all saying, check out this channel, and if you like what you see, subscribe. I mean, Whoopa's got a channel now. See, I put it up here.
Whoopa Troopa has a channel now. Nice.
Yes, he does. Yes,
I've
he
seen
does.
Whoopa in a few chats, so that's awesome. Awesome. I will be supporting Whoopa Troopa as well.
As a matter of fact, I already put it in earlier. I will put it in one more time. But this is the link to his channel. I will go ahead and actually put it in the actual chat real quick.
Yes, please do, because I want to go subscribe to that.
Not a problem, brother. Just give me 1 second.
Let me know when you're up to 60 yet. I'll be 69. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, I mean, you never know. One day it could be 69, and then the next day it could be 96. You never know.
There you go. Turn it around, all for the better.
Exactly. It's just basically the same number, just inverted, so it's all good.
Invert that y-axis.
And then I saw somebody. So I saw this thing on Facebook a while back. It said it was that line from Maverick where he's like, where you know, like the whole inverted thing, but it went.
Yeah, I'm going inverted.
I'm going inverted, but instead of that, all it says it shows a woman, and it says like the typing says, "How did you spend your night last night with my girlfriend?"
I inverted.
Really? What were you doing? We were inverted. And then she says, "How did that work out for you?" And then he just says, "That's classified, ma'am." I almost hit the ground laughing my ass off.
As somebody that was born in 1976 and having used that line on women 10 years younger than me, trust me, it works. When a guy that's 40 some years old tells a girl that's 30 years old, says, "Let me invert you," and she says, "What does that mean?" He says, "I have to show you." Hey.
Yeah, I mean, if a guy says, "Baby, let's go inverted tonight,"
Let's go inverted.
You know,
And she don't. Yep.
That's it. That's all you gotta say.
Well, it's like what you
And
told
Whoopa
me.
Troopa, I just subscribed to you, bud.
But it's like we were saying the other day, Patriot, you know, about the Princess Bride. If a woman doesn't know anything about the Princess Bride, then she's not marriage material.
Well, hell, I don't even know what the hell the Princess Bride has besides Andre the fucking Giant.
That's inconceivable.
Inconceivable.
Then again, I'm 45 years old, and that was back in my day. You know, it's just not stuff we talk about from back then.
Yeah, because I was into a movie like The Princess Bride doesn't mean that everybody I grew up with was into that movie. Because trust me, I knew people who didn't like that movie.
I mean, I didn't say I didn't like it. I just don't talk about it.
No, I'm not saying you didn't like it either. I'm just saying I knew people who didn't like it.
You know, I hear that movie brought up all the time, but nobody ever mentions the never-ending story where what's his name, Sean Connery, was the dragon, Atreyu.
See, I saw that movie once as a kid, The Neverending Story, and I bawled my eyes out. So I never wanted to watch it again.
Yeah, that's just like watching Where the Red Fern Grows. Okay, because fucking dog dies at the end, but if you read the book, the dog lives. So
Well, I mean, it's no different than Disney, screwing over their, timeless
No,
Disney
it's
classics.
very different because back then. I mean, unless you
Okay.
want to say that they were the same back then that they are now. It's like just like Old Yeller. What happened with Old Yeller in the book compared to the movie?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, okay, like prime example, Cinderella. Like her stepsisters don't try to shove their feet in things. They actually cut their.
Mm-hmm. They cut off the end of their feet to try to
Okay,
fit into the slipper.
Okay, wait. I don't know what movie you're talking about. I watched the 1940s Cinderella movie.
I'm talking about the actual book.
With the dancing mice and everything.
Yeah, I'm talking about the actual book.
No, okay. I never read the book.
Yeah, if you read the actual book to some of these classic Disney stuff, it's actually pretty effed up.
Yeah, well, if you think about
Like,
all of the
I think it's the
fables.
only way that.
I'm gonna give him a few seconds. He cut out, so good to give him a few seconds.
Yeah,
we'll cut back in.
Whoopa says, what's Whoopa saying?
Okay, that is the second time in less than 5 minutes that StreamYards has said I'm having quote-unquote connection issues.
That's StreamYard's problem.
What device are you using, by the way?
I'm using my iPad, but that's the.
Okay, do you have it open in its own web page?
No, but typically this isn't an issue.
That's probably why. I'm saying I've had this issue with somebody else before. You have to have it open in its own web page.
Oh. Usually do it like this, and I don't have an issue. So
yeah, Chrome is the best way to use StreamYard. Chrome loves StreamYard. StreamYard loves Chrome. They're made for each other. They're built around each other.
Well, unfortunately, I'm kind of lazy and like sitting on my recliner with my iPad already here.
Donuts.
Damn, I can go for some French crullers right about now from Dunkin'.
Crullers. It's pronounced crullers.
However it's pronounced.
I used to be a baker at Timmy's, for fuck's sakes. For 6 months. I could still go back and do the damn job if I had to.
I almost got hired on by Krispy Kreme. But then I started doing DoorDash full time and realized I can make more money doing just DoorDash.
Hey, Pacific Leia Rose is in the chat. Did I say that right?
Yes, she is. She's returned.
You know I'm bad with names.
Welcome back.
I said it Leia Rose. I apologize if I said it wrong.
No. That's how I've heard other people say it. And a lot of times I try to go by how other people are saying it. Unless I'm not sure. Then I try to look at it for a while and pronounce it. I mean, heck, just tonight reading some articles.
I had two choices, Leia or Leah. So I went with the way it looked.
But, reading some articles tonight, I was looking at some words I'd never seen before. So it's like, okay, stop, look at the word, try to sound it out in your head and take a crack at it, or just go, I'm going to skip that.
So happy that people could join Pacific tonight.
Yeah, I'm grateful that, I have people that are coming back and watching it, but, a lot of it, and I'm going to say it right now, and I'll probably say it over and over again on Sunday, a lot of it is because of the people I've met on this platform, the networking I've made on this platform, meeting those different people and meeting other people in the chat. That's why I'm at where I'm at.
I've never seen Leia Rose before, but thank you so much for supporting Pacific. And the Smoking Patriot and myself and coming out to check out this live stream. It really does mean the world to us, because if it wasn't for you, we'd be nothing. You know what we are? We're just dudes in front of our computers right now. That's all we are. We're regular people.
I like to take a line from Gary from Nerdrotic. You know, I'm just an idiot behind a microphone.
That's probably the most honest thing he's ever said.
I mean, I can't exactly disagree with that statement.
I can't agree with everything he's done with his platform, but that's probably the most honest thing he's ever said.
No, there are times I've watched videos from him and other content creators, whether it's a live stream or a video, and I haven't agreed with it. I don't go, complaining in the comment section or reading at them on
No, I don't
Twitter.
either. I don't either. I mean,
move on.
Hey, more power to you. But all I ask is do what you did when you started your platform. Be honest with yourself and to your audience.
Mhm.
And from what I've seen from some of these bigger channels that got big by hating, they're not being honest with themselves or their audience. And that's why I stopped watching them a long time ago. They're not being honest with themselves or their audience.
And that's what we have to do. We have to be honest, We have to give a presentation that's true. We can't be phony. I don't want to be phony on this platform. That's one thing I can't stand, is someone who's, acts one way and then acts another way off stream. It's like, give me yourself. I don't want this phony facade. Give me
Right.
who you are.
Exactly, Pacific. And that's why I say when I'm on stream on my streams, what do I say to call me? What did I tell you to call me on stream? I told you to call me by my name.
I forgot.
It's okay.
I'm sorry.
Jay. I'm Jay. Nice to meet you. I'm Jay. How you doing? Okay. Same with CSA over there, the Smoking Patriot, right?
Mm-hmm.
And George, Goggles and Gadgets. Okay.
Yes.
I don't have my reading glasses on. Goggles and Gadgets, I think that says, is in the chat. Welcome, Goggles and Gadgets. But yeah, I mean, you got to be honest with yourself. And if you can't be honest with yourself, how are you going to be honest with your audience? And then I understand building a brand. I understand building a channel. But if you can't do it by being honest, then you have a dishonest channel. And I think that's what a lot of the stuff happened in the last 2 years, is they got slap happy when it came to all this negativity coming out. They got so slap happy with it that they just bought into the negativity and blew up. And yeah, they're still going to have their core audience, okay, but they're shedding subs left and right because people are seeing through it, right?
Well,
because
it's like you telling me, what did I tell you to call me when we first met? I was going to try to play it off like I still remembered. I forgot.
right, be honest. Just be honest. That's all we ask of each other.
Mm-hmm.
Just be yourself, I mean, don't be, it was funny. There was Nick Ricada, his friend Drexel. He said, there's something that you got to appreciate about all these, about all these Twitch chicks and, skimpy bikinis and hot tubs and everything like that. He's like,
what? That they can sell bath water to fucking guys that are so desperate they'll actually pay for it?
is that they know what they're doing. They know who they are. They know that they're a hot chick, and all they got to do is do the smallest things to bring in guys. They don't hide who they are.
No, they don't hide who they are. But what pisses me off is they're taking advantage of the guy that has no fucking self-esteem.
Oh no! I agree with you there, but he's like they at least know who they are. They're not trying. This isn't like a persona that they have. This is who they are.
That is who they are.
They're a hot chick.
They're fucking greedy bitches, and they're gonna take advantage of the fucking guy that has nothing else to look forward to.
Yeah, I mean, Do I agree with what they do?
Hell no, I
but
don't.
They at
But
least know who they are.
At least
and know
they're
what they
honest
got.
about it. At least
Yep.
they're being honest about who they are.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
It's not like this false ass shit that we see on YouTube now. Oh, we built this around a community, but we're gonna put all this negativity out and blah 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 blah. No, fuck that. See, that's where I draw the line. No, you built your channel around a community, and then you took that community and corrupted it to build a fucking channel. That's fucked. That's fucked up. I do not agree with that. You either build a channel and a community around honesty or get the fuck out of my community.
Yeah, you know.
And I don't care how big my channel gets. I don't care how big Pacific's channel gets. I don't care how big your channel gets, Patriot. I will support both of you guys if you blow up. But the minute you turn your back on the community, I'm done with you.
Yeah. You know. I mean, and it's, you know, it's like I said, just be genuine to who you are. Be genuine. People will either be drawn or hate you for who you are, but be genuine. Because not everyone's cut out to be on YouTube. That's the thing. Not everyone's cut out to be doing videos and stuff. Everyone thinks, oh, I can make it. I can do this. I can do that. It's like,
well, actually, anybody can. It's just, can you hold an audience while you do it?
Well, but that's what I mean, though, where it's like, I'm sure, like anybody can make a channel, but it's, can you actually do it with any degree of success?
Right.
There's a difference.
And see, the thing is, here's the difference between me and most other channels. I came into this as self-healing, as something to help me, as a hobby. I didn't come into this to make anything out of it. And I still hold that philosophy. I'm not doing this to make anything out of it.
Right.
And that's why I'm supporting people like Pacific414 and Spock. When I first met them a few weeks ago, first thing I said was, I want to get you guys to 100 subs each.
You did.
Yeah.
You did.
Because I watched them for a few days before I even interacted with them.
And that's what I do too. Before I even subscribe to anybody, I try to watch their content and see, okay, how are they presenting themselves? Are they, you know, phony? Because I'll admit, and it may cost me some subscribers, it may not. But if I see a video or a live stream and the person's being completely fake and phony, that's a turnoff. To me, that's a turnoff.
It is. And then when I finally did interact with Pacific and Spock, first words out of my mouth was, thank you so much for having me on. I do appreciate the opportunity.
Yeah.
Now let me help.
Way every time.
Now let me help you. Let me promote your channels. And I did for about a week, 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And then I let it go for 2 weeks. Look where they came in the 2 weeks I haven't been promoting them. Look how far they've come in 2 weeks that I haven't been promoting them. They got their own steam, their own momentum.
It's because of real people in the community. That's what it is. I mean, one person I'll give complete and total credit to, and I've mentioned it to him several times, is the Nerdporial Lifeform.
Absolutely. Nerdporial Lifeform. Awesome guy right there. I tell you what.
Yeah.
One of the greatest YouTubers in this community as far as acquaintances go that you could have. As far as promoting people, being nice to people. And if he doesn't like you, I'll tell you straight up, if he don't like you or your content, he will not promote you. Straight up. He won't say it outright, but I get that just from watching the guy.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, whenever I've had him on my streams, or I've interacted with him on Pacific streams, we've always had always good conversation and good times. Never, if he doesn't like me, he has not indicated or hinted at it in the slightest.
Oh no, he won't say it public. He won't. He
But I'm
won't.
saying, like, yeah,
Yeah, he won't outright say, "I don't like you. I don't want to deal with you." No, he's not going to say that in public. But if you try to get him to promote your stuff or whatever, no, it ain't going to happen. I've actually won a few of his things off of his Discord. I wear one of his hoodies with pride. Right? I got one of his hoodies. And it has the saying on the back of it. I love that fucking hoodie. It's fucking awesome.
Wait, are you the one who keeps winning the stuff? It's like every time he has, like,
Yeah, I won the hoodie. I won the Dune Blu-ray. Yeah.
I'm like, oh, damn you! You want to get? It's like, can we take his name out of the running? Give us all another shot.
I won 3 things. I won the Nintendo what is it code. I won the Dune Blu-ray and his hoodie.
Yeah,
I won 3 things. and then I typed in, should I just stop entering your fucking giveaways?
I remember that happened the 3rd time, and I'm like, you know,
that's when I said, should I just stop entering the giveaways?
I mean, I didn't mean it seriously. I meant it in total jest. But,
I know you did. I know. But still, I mean, I felt bad. It's like the 3rd time I won. I'm like, really, dude? Come on.
When you won that 3rd time, I was thinking, I'm not kissing up to the bot that much.
Yeah, it's like okay.
You know, the thing is, the first time I interacted with the bot, I told it to F off.
Oh, I think I saw that. I think I did. I could be wrong, but I swear I saw that.
Oh yeah, Whoopa, you are in a Discord in his Discord, aren't you? Yeah. Whoopa is in Nerdporial's Discord. I forgot about that.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I think he is. Yeah, I honestly forget who's in there at times.
Well, it's like, we all seem to, be subscribed to the same people on YouTube. So it's like, when we see each other, it's like, yo, family.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much how it is. It's like one big, just like one big family, basically. And we'll see each other in chats of various.
And when I said, should I just stop entering? I honestly meant that. I'm like, you want me to stop because I want to give other people a chance to win.
Mm-hmm.
And he came back with, no, you don't have. I'm like, dude, your bot is obviously tainted or something. It likes me or something.
It likes your username, Sci-Fi Nation.
I know.
I like that name.
Right?
Pacific414. What kind of name is that?
I know. It sees like Common Sense America. It's like, oh no, I'm sorry. We are on it. I keep wondering if the bot is like McCarthy or something, because he keeps saying Common Sense America. Like, no, we can't have any communists here. No communists.
Did you ever tell the bot to F off? Because I did from the get-go.
Actually, I think I muted the bot.
Well, that might be why you ain't won.
I don't remember, to be honest with you.
I told the bot to F off from day one. I said, bot, F you. Because they were having an argument with the bot. Somebody was starting an argument with the bot. And they said, hey, bot, what about this? And I said, your mama's a toaster and your daddy's a fucking Hoover or something like that. And then it just started to meme more, and yeah.
It all blew up from there.
Yeah, it just went from there. Yeah. And then I started winning shit.
And he's like, okay,
so,
you know what?
So the secret is to talk dirty to the bot.
Just treat it like the bitch that it is. Hey. Whoopa is a head nerdporial. Yes, you are. You are one of the nerdporials. Head, what do you call them? Administrators or moderators?
Moderator.
On the Discord? Yes, absolutely. Whoopa is awesome. Says he was looking for a new bot. Oh, I gotta put my spectacles on. A new bot host. I heard. Okay. I don't know what that means because I don't even have administrators on my Discord. So
I have administrators, but I only have one bot.
I don't even have bots on mine.
I don't even have a Discord.
Yeah, you know what? I used to have it in my Patreon. If you want me to have a Discord, you got to subscribe for $100 a month. That's how much I despise Discord.
I mean, I'm a part of. I actually got rid of a lot of Discords because of issues with some past
People and
everything and whatnot, and it became a huge fucking drama fest. So my Discords were like cut in half. Like I just got rid of like half of them pretty much.
Well, that's weird because right after I joined yours, your Discord like grew exponentially. Literally with channels and everything, and I'm just like, holy crap! I got like 8 channels in mine. You got 34. Oh fuck! You got 56 now. How the hell am I supposed to keep up with this? You got like subjects for every little thing.
Yeah, I know. I went a little overboard in mine.
You and Spock both. Jesus. Fuck.
I know. Guilty as charged.
I mean, you can't really hate on success, you know. I mean,
what Swoop was saying? You want to pull that up there, Pacific?
Whoopa troop.
Whoopa says he joined the chat, Pacific, but he's too wiped out from his stream. Oh, you had a stream? Oh, shit. I just feel like I was staring at the sun. Gotta lay low. Just put your Ray-Bans on, son. You be all right.
Gotta wear shades.
You remember Ray-Bans, don't you?
Yes, I do.
I know YouTubers that they look like they're wearing like prescription glasses, but they're not. They're actually just like standard glasses, but the lenses are designed to block out the blue light, so it puts a lot less strain on their eyes.
I dated a girl in 1997, and her actual glasses tinted with the sunlight. That was back in 97.
I remember those. Oh god,
I remember them
when
too.
those came out. Those were like the rage amongst the glasses wearers.
Oh, and her pussy was so good too. Made the mattress wet, soaked the mattress. Oh wait, we're talking about glasses. Shit.
I mean, hey, I've been with a chick who was the same way. So trust me, I can relate to that.
That wasn't the first one I've been like with that, and damn sure wasn't the last.
Well,
but yeah, y'all remember those glasses that used to tint, like they didn't need actual Ray-Bans that flip down over top of them.
Yep. Yeah. I had a high school buddy who wore them, and the first time I saw him with them on, I'm going, okay, you're wearing sunglasses. Then he goes in the classroom, and then I see them turn to clear. I'm going, what kind of glasses are those?
The only thing they could never get right is the fact that when they came back inside, they still steamed up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, and the people I knew that wore them, they said that they worked, but the problem is they didn't work as well. They were kind of like they said it's kind of like a gimmick to a degree because they don't work as well as if you just
Dude,
as a
I
standard.
tell you, she literally paid like $750 for that goddamn shit back in like 2000.
Oh yeah.
Literally $7,000 for that shit. I'm like, you gotta be out your goddamn mind. And then I met her parents and I found out how much they made. I'm like, never mind. I'm just gonna sit over here and fuck you and let them give us a bunch of shit.
Yeah, I mean, I was a kid. I mean, I wasn't even in high school when those things came out.
I was a little bit out of high school. I was like 3 years out of high school. I'm like, yeah, okay.
I was a senior in high school.
What?
Yeah.
Okay, so that was 97 the first time I seen him. I was 3 years out of high school. Yeah. I graduated in 94. And it was top of the line back then.
Yeah, I remember little Lord have mercy. Yeah, I remember
Lord have mercy.
And, Lord have mercy. Of course, all you got to do is just, I mean, granted, I'm from Florida originally, so I mean,
Florida, okay.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm from Michigan. I'm from Michigania. She's from Michigania. She was adopted here in Michigania, but her parents were from Illinois. So I had to go down and do river cat fishing down on the Wabash River. So I had to learn how to fix Southern cooking foods.
Oh, some good fried catfish.
Oh, good fried catfish.
Oh, you make
tomatoes.
Oh, Lord have mercy! You make me some good fried catfish.
Deep fried okra.
Make you want to go just slap your mama and say amen.
Oh, slap your mama with your own fucking tits. Jesus Christ.
You know what the best thing is that I told that to so I was hanging around with a New Yorker. Okay, he didn't spend a whole lot of time in the South, and we went and I told him, I said, man, you gotta get some good barbecue. He's like, where? I'm like, okay, well, how about we go try this place? And I never tried it. It was a local joint. So we go try it, and I'm eating the ribs. I'm like, I'm like,
damn.
He's like, those ribs that good? I'm like, man, make you want to slap your mama and kiss your sister. And he's like, what'd you say about my mama?
What'd you say about
my mama? You better not be back talking my mama.
Better not be back talking my mama, boy.
He literally said, I will beat your ass with that rib.
Beat your ass up about my mama. Yeah. And that's the thing.
And I'm like,
that's the thing. I am so redneck. I am so redneck and so city bound.
Oh, I'm like, dude, don't hit on a Southern boy, man. It's just a saying that we have, man.
No, that's the thing.
That good. You just say you make you want to slap your mama.
I am so redneck and so Southern redneck and city neck. Man, wow. See, that's what I miss about living in the big cities, because when I lived in the big cities, I could take my redneck, what do you call it? Knowledge, and take it into the big cities and make people feel fucking stupid.
Oh God, I love that, man. I always
especially cooking and telling jokes.
Oh God, man, the Southerners tell the best jokes because they ain't got no limit.
But for me, it's like Northern Michigan, which is like basically Canadian jokes, and then I got my Southern Illinois jokes on top of it, and then Southern U.S. jokes on top of it, and then I go and cook on top of it, and then I go into the big cities, and it's like I look at people and I'm like, you really are that dumb, aren't you? And I make them look that dumb.
I've lived in the South my entire life, so.
You know, I always thought that okra was like something that you bought in a can.
Nah.
Until I had sliced deep fried okra in a cast iron skillet.
Yeah, I mean, I gave okra a fair chance. You know, I was the pickiest motherfucker on the face of the earth when it came to food as a kid. And then
but when
my
I had deep fried okra in a cast iron skillet with animal fat.
Oh God, yeah. Oh yeah, the tallow.
Oh. Mm.
That's the funny thing. Everyone's like, because I know so many people, and they're like, wait, I hear in the South you like to save your fats.
Yeah,
And I'm
you
like,
save your fat.
And I'm like, if I'm like, yeah, you'll
It ain't like up here. It ain't
ones.
like up north where you fucking take your vegetable oil and set it aside because it's already done. No, if you got real fucking animal fat, it's called tallow, and you save it and you cook with it.
Yeah, I said that, and they're like, well, we always shave it the bacon grease. I'm like, yep, you save that bacon grease.
Save it. Save your bacon grease. Save that bacon grease.
What? And I'm like, yeah, it's actually pretty healthy for you if you use it in relation to like margarine or butter. It's about on the same scale.
It's better for you.
Yeah, and they're like, really? I'm like, yeah, it's about the same. It's about the same, if not better than butter. And you get all the flavor of you're adding a little bacon flavor to whatever you use it with, and you don't need much of it.
Fuck all that cholesterol shit. As long as you're cooking shit the right way, that grease ain't gonna do a goddamn thing to you.
Mm-hmm.
All it's gonna do is give it flavor.
Mm-hmm.
I got the flavor. I got the power. Anyway.
But yeah, it's how people were able to survive in the Great Depression is by storing the fat and cooking with it, baking with it.
Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah.
I mean, to me, it's just
like what do y'all do with your tomato pieces? Okay, you slice a tomato. What do you do with the what you slice off both ends? You fucking throw them away, right? I put salt and pepper on the one end, but what do you do with the other end? I slice them up, put them in a baggie, and throw them in the freezer. When I get enough of them, I throw them in the frying pan. You know why I throw them in the frying pan?
Make fried tomatoes.
Grease. There you go.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not a fan of raw tomatoes, but if I was,
not raw tomatoes, but raw tomatoes in a fucking frying pan with some grease. Cook that shit up. What do you get? You're either gonna get something to eat or you're gonna get a base for a roux.
He makes a very valid point.
I'm just saying, that's how I cook. I'm a fucking cook, an American cook. That's just how I save shit. I save shit like that all the time. I save all my fucking leftovers.
I mean, I save as much of the leftover as I possibly can. I mean, obviously,
you can ask my missus. I save every fucking leftover, don't I, baby? Babe. She's into her game. Still, I save all my fucking scrap leftovers. I don't waste shit. Even if I like heat something in the microwave for veggies or out of a can, I will save that shit and freeze it and use it for a crock pot recipe. I don't give a fuck. I save that shit.
Yeah, I mean, I know people that they they'll make like whatever meal. They'll snap the ends off the green beans. They'll skin the potatoes.
Oh, snap the ends of the green beans. We used to do that before the fucking meals.
No. But that's what I'm saying. Like as you're, you snap the ends off. You put them in the bowl to either boil them, do whatever you can do with them. But like when you're prepping the meal, you're skinning the potatoes, snapping the ends off the green beans and everything before you're cooking.
And I prefer not to take the skins off of veggies because the vitamins are in the skins of the veggies.
No, I know. Well, yeah, I know, but like for certain meals, you don't want the skins on the potatoes.
Bullshit.
Yeah. I'm just telling you the meals I helped prep back in the day when I was, back in the day when I still lived with my parents.
I've been a cook for 20 fucking years. Fuck taking the potato skins off. That's where the fucking vitamins are.
Yeah. I mean, plus if you make you can make some damn good mashed potatoes if you get.
Hell yeah, you get some baby reds. Hell yeah.
I like the Yukon Golds.
Nah, baby reds make better.
Really? I tried
like
baby
them
reds
all.
once, and they were good, but those Yukon Golds just had a better flavor about them.
Yeah, you didn't put enough butter in it. Real butter.
Oh no! Oh! I've been accused of putting too much butter in.
No, real butter. Not this fake shit. You got to use real butter. Salt and cream butter.
No. I actually, when I buy butter, I actually don't get the generic, Walmart brand.
Yeah,
I
literally,
actually
it costs
splurge
it costs between $5 and $7 a brick. It's real butter, salt and cream.
I have not made my own butter in forever.
No, but you can buy it from the store. You've been able to for like the last 10 years. It's made out of salt and cream.
Yeah, I know. There's
That's
actually,
what I use. That's what I use, and I use baby reds. And then I use a what do you call it? A fucking egg beater. The whatever the fuck you call it. The fucking egg beater.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah. I can't. My brain's.
And then I whip them up and I make them just as fluffy can be. I've been doing this for years. I've worked in restaurants for years.
Yeah, I worked as a line cook for 2 years. So.
Oh, it sounds like we could teach each other a few tricks.
Well, you could probably teach me a lot more. I mean, I like to cook. I ain't like no fucking expert by any stretch, but
no, I'm not an
like
expert by any means either. I'm just a dude that lives in the U.S. that's had a few fucking jobs. So that's why I said I'm sure we could teach each other a few tricks. So I'm not saying I'm perfect. I'm not perfect by any means at all. I just know how to do what I know how to do.
Yeah, I heard that.
But I want to go ahead and give the panel over to Pacific because we've been talking for a few minutes.
That's
and
right,
I have to take a Geologia break anyway. So.
All right. Like I said, I've been enjoying your guys' conversation about cooking and
cooking and cleaning and making sure that if you date a woman that wears those glasses that get shady in the sun, that make sure she's also nice and wet too downstairs.
Especially on the mattress.
You want a nice slip and slide,
Perfect sound effect, by the way.
Well, I will go on record and say that I don't discriminate against potatoes. I like them all.
No, I know. Yeah, no, I don't discriminate against potatoes in terms of I like all potatoes, but certain meals when you make them, certain potatoes are better than others for certain meals.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, like I'm very I am pro potato. I like my spuds, and spuds like me. They help make me the fat man I am today.
Yeah, growing up, I was given such a hard time around Thanksgiving and Christmas because the first thing I would grab are the potatoes.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't care. I had to have potatoes. And I still have to have potatoes.
Oh man, I made loaded mashed potatoes. I made loaded mashed potatoes just for a meal one time, just because I wanted potatoes, and I'm like, I want cheesy bacon potatoes right now. 20 minutes later, had a pot where I had several meals worth of just loaded mashed potatoes with a shit ton of sour cream, bacon, butter, cheese in it.
Yes.
Oh, you want to talk about the kind of meal that makes a man scream amen? Oh, that was, Lord have mercy, that was good.
Welcome to Pop Talk, ladies and gentlemen. Now we're talking about food.
Welcome to Pop Talk. How you doing? Hey. How you doing?
I don't know. How you doing?
How you doing?
Hey, CSA, Smoking Patriot. How you doing, eh?
Hey, CSA, Patriot, how you doing? How you doing, boys? Hey, what's up? How you doing?
I'm doing good. It's nice to be around the family again. Family is important, and we gotta make sure that we stick together, Because, I like you both.
Hey,
I don't want to
Don.
have to
Hey,
get
Don.
old Johnny Two-Bit or Vinny Bag of Donut to go over there. And let me just put it to you this way. He's going to make sure that your new footwear is solid concrete. I don't want to have to do that.
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying, but I gotta give you a new nickname, Donnie No Breaths, because you can't even breathe while you're fucking talking.
My grandmother, may she rest in peace, she up there and whatnot, but...
What do you mean, man? Your grandmother, rest in peace. I just saw the other day.
What do you mean you're rest in peace? I seen you in like 20 pieces the other day.
Listen, okay? Listen, I know you're into some freaky shit, okay?
I know you're saying,
but
that's what you want to say.
Come on now. Don't compare me to what those...
No, I am gonna compare
you. That you play in your, what do they call the kids now? What they call it, the video game.
What? You don't know what a video game is?
Jack and Jill went up the hill. They both had $1.25. Joe came down with $2.50. The dumb son of a bitch.
Who needs him?
Yeah, that's Andrew Dice Clay. That's one of my favorite comedians.
Yes. He told it like it is. Sam Kinison told it like it is.
Let me tell you about pussy. You want to know what men think about pussy? Women! Do you really want to know how men think about pussy? I'll tell you what they think about pussy. Ah! Give it to us! Ah! Tell us what you like. Ah! That's what Sam Kinison said about pussy. Tell us what you like.
Yep.
He makes a very valid point.
I'm just saying. You said Sam Kinison. I know Sam Kinison.
Yeah. Yeah, so do I. Really.
Tell us what you want! Tell us how to eat it! Don't make us guess!
We'd like to be informed, but you are
We
not
like to be informed!
We need to know the truth.
We need to know! Yes,
Tell us the
absolutely.
truth.
Tell us the truth! Yeah, exactly.
Tell us the truth, and we shall finally make you scream amen.
The truth shall set you free!
And there's never been another one like him.
No, there
And
has
there
not.
never will be.
Him or George Carlin or
Richard Pryor.
Gene Wilder.
Mm-hmm.
Rodney Dangerfield.
Yep.
Oh, Rodney Dangerfield. Oh, I still love watching the videos on YouTube of when he went on. What the fuck? Who was that? What was the late the Johnny Carson show?
Johnny
Carson.
Yeah,
he had Johnny Carson rolling.
He did, dude. He looked right at Johnny. He looked right at Johnny and said, "Take my wife, please." She's right over there. Johnny just fucking face palmed. He's like, "Oh my fuck."
He's like, when Johnny Carson is about to fall out of his chair, laughing his ass off, you know you're done good.
Especially when Rodney's looking at you. Take my wife, please. She's right over there. Johnny, please take her. Get her off my hands. Fuck, I beg you. One of the oldest jokes in history, and Rodney looked at Johnny and made him fall out of his fucking chair and facepalm at the same time.
It was all about his delivery.
Yeah. I'll tell you, I guess no respect. No respect.
I mean, he was one of the great parts of Caddyshack.
Him and Bill Murray and yeah.
Let's
Dan
go
Aykroyd.
while we're young.
Yeah. Buy. Wait, don't buy. Okay, well then sell. Back to School. That's another great Ronnie.
Back to School. Yeah, that's on Netflix right now.
That business scene when he's in there and the guy, he's like, we're gonna create this fiction.
We're gonna create this new thing. He's like, oh, the hell you are? Watch this. I'll fucking defeat it and make a brand new one. Watch it.
What are we making?
What are we making?
It doesn't matter. Well, of course it matters. Square footage,
No, it don't.
this
Square root of
location,
what?
everything.
Let me put some money into it.
then you gotta grease the palms of the local tax guy, so he'll give you a break.
Grease the palm guy. Jesus Christ, what are they? Fucking fights? Shit. Watch this. That's basically where Ronnie said, shit, hold my bear and watch this.
Serious? Oh god. Oh, that's fun. And then he gets all lectured, and then he goes up to the principal or dean or whatever the fuck the guy was, and he's like, what can I do to make it right? And the next thing you see is, we want to dedicate this new building generously donated.
What do I got to do to make it right? Shit. We dedicate this new building.
Fucking donates a building.
That's what made that movie great. Everything that we despise right now, he made fun of back in the 80s.
Oh,
He's
God,
like, I'm going to take the rich culture and fuck with it. And he did. Because what would happen if somebody did that now? We'd be like, you motherfucker, they're raising your kick on that school because you donated this shit. But you know what he did? He made fun of it. And it worked. It worked back then. Sometimes a joke is just a fucking joke, people. Doesn't matter how liberal we are, how progressive we are. And that's as political as I'm going to get about it. But still, jokes are just fucking jokes.
Don't take them seriously. Laugh at them. That's what they're meant to. That's what they're meant for.
Yeah.
Be laughed at. We're poking fun at our society. I mean.
Well, I've always said that's why fucking Blazing Saddles is in my top 5 favorite comedies of all time, because that movie has more racial slurs in it than probably any other movie known to mankind. But guess what?
That's a comedy?
It's Mel Brooks.
Well, yeah, Mel Brooks.
When they see the guys in the KKK stuff, and they're like, we gotta get in there somehow, and he's like, I have an idea. So they go behind the rock, and then he says, yoo-hoo, oh boys, and then he drags out the black sheriff, and he says, hey, where the white women at? Go over there, kick their asses. Oh, God, you gotta learn to wash your hands after you quit burning crosses. I tell him he needs to keep washing his hands.
I used to be able to do the horse thing. Yeah, I used to be able to do that.
It's funny. I can't do it all the time. Like, it's one of those things where if I'm consciously thinking about it, I will.
But it's not from Blazing Saddles, though. It's from
Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
Yep.
Oh, I mean, again, that's another one. Top 5. There's some stuff in that one that you couldn't get away with today.
Oh hell no. No,
God.
no way you can.
Comedies of the old day.
Unless you're on one of our channels, because we appreciate comedy.
We do.
Okay, yes, I might be a lefty progressive. They might be conservatives. It don't matter. We understand. Jokes are freaking jokes, people. Get the F over yourselves. Jokes are jokes. Okay. One thing our society has devolved, and I did say devolve, is into this. The fact that we can't have jokes no more. The fact that we got to go against people like Dave Chappelle. Okay? Don't go against Dave Chappelle.
And people aren't, because his last show that he had, he sold it out. People are like, I don't care. The guy's funny. I'm going to go see him.
He is
People
funny.
deserve-
He is funny. He says stuff like, damn! What the hell? Right? That means you don't like Chris Tucker. Not Chris Tucker from Fifth Element. I'm talking Chris Tucker from Friday the movie. Damn!
Yeah.
Bitch, your mama so fat.
I mean, shit. I remember
She tried
back
to.
in the
She tried to buy a shaking head to put it all that way.
shit. I remember growing up as a kid. Yo, mama jokes.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean,
Yo,
You
mama
need-
so fat, she tried to buy a thong. They had to make her a solar sail.
Yo, mama so fat that when she went into outer space, she shifted the planet's orbits into her alignment.
Hey.
I like thick planets, and I cannot lie.
I was thinking about Sir Mix-a-Lot. I like big butts, and I cannot lie.
How did we know?
See, that's the thing. Is that comedy was one of those things, and it didn't matter where you fell on the political side.
Yeah,
You
it
could
didn't
be an
matter who you
anarchist.
were. Yeah, it didn't matter who you were, where you're from, what color you were.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, did the comic make fun of you if they seen what color you were? Fuck yeah, they did. You know why? It was funny.
Yeah, it was
didn't mean
meant to
nothing,
be
no.
funny. Yeah.
Oh, we got some white people here. Oh. Okay, I guess they're in our seats. See, you know what the black people got here because they know they take them seats. The white people ain't gonna say, and that's just our seats. The black people are like, I don't give a fuck. That's us, motherfucker. Unless you're a white boy like me that lived with black people, they bitch, get the fuck out of my seat, motherfucker.
All right, guys. I think on that note, we're going to go ahead and wrap it up.
Yeah, shit. We're almost at 3 hours and 40 minutes.
Yeah.
We love the
I didn't
comedy,
realize
though.
we had gone
The
that long.
comedy is
Yes, sir.
awesomeness.
Yes, we do.
Pacific, please go ahead, promote all the good stuff you're doing with your channel, and please go ahead and tell everything about what Patriot's doing with his channel. Oh, sounds good. Well, that's that one. Good thing I got 10 more in the fridge.
Well, Patriot, are you going to be doing anything on your channel in the near future?
I got some things that have come up lately, so at the moment, no. I have not forgotten about my channel. Just life stuff keeps coming up and whatnot. So, but
life stuff comes up. So when can we hear from you, Patriot, with your channel? Come on. Sci-Fi wants to know.
I ain't got a definite answer on that yet. Trust me, when I have an answer, I will actually put out a video and say, hey, X amount of days until this live stream or this.
All right. Well,
video,
do me a favor. At least let Pacific know so he can tell me. 'Cause I
Oh
wanna
yeah,
check that
no,
out.
I will for sure. Yeah. It's not going to be just a sudden just drop. I mean, I'll broadcast it. I'll broadcast it for sure.
Awesome. Because I want
Very
everybody
sweet.
in the chat to know along with Pacific. Because I love this community. I love to keep in touch with this community. Thank you, baby. You're such a good girl. I love you.
And Sci-Fi, what do you have coming up on your channel?
I don't know. I got to do something though. I do have an audience that I've been neglecting, and I feel bad about that. I wouldn't be where I am without my audience, or without this community, without this awesome community that I'm part of. In Pacific, you've introduced me to a whole new part of this community. So thank you so much for that, my friend.
You're welcome.
But I will be doing some more lives, putting out some more videos. If anyone's watching this on replay, check out my channel. It's youtube.com/Sci-Fi Nation. It's not
Go
hard
ahead
to
and put it
find.
up here real quick.
Yeah, you don't need any special link for it. It's youtube.com/Sci-Fi Nation. So, but yeah, I mean, just check me out. I'm just your local neighborhood anxietal YouTuber. No, you're good, hon. Go ahead. Take care of my missus on a daily basis. So, and I try to get on here when I can. And I want to give huge shout outs to Pacific and the Smoking Patriot, aka CSA. Awesome people. I think I've actually seen CSA on streams well before I met Pacific, but that aside, they're both great people. Would you please stop doing that while I'm live? Sorry. What a dink. Anyway. But yeah, check these guys out. They're really good people. And they do deserve your watch time and your attention. So please check them out. As far as I go, you either like what I have to say or you don't. So that's all I got to say.
All right. And just to let everybody know, I probably won't be doing any live streams or posting any videos within the next couple of days. I will actually try to work on my Hawkeye videos. I don't know when they're going to be coming out, but I'll be working on them. And Saturday night at 8 o'clock Eastern, I will be doing the box score mound visit, talking about all the recent signings and acquisitions throughout Major League Baseball, and also any news concerning the collective bargaining agreement with the players union and Major League Baseball. And we'll be talking about the 2022 Hall of Fame ballot, who we think should go in and who we think has absolutely no chance of getting in. And then on Sunday, I'll be doing my 100 subscriber celebration stream. And I invite all of you to come. And if you'd like to be a part of that panel, well, I will post a link in the chat that night.
Well, you already know I'd love to be a part of it, Pacific.
Oh, you're more than welcome. Same with you, Patriot.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm in, I don't even need to say. You probably already know what I'm going to say, so I'm just going to just leave it at that.
Yep.
Give him a link. God dinger. Give him a link.
Play it by ear.
That's
what you always tell me. Play it by ear.
Yeah.
But I'll still send you the link anyway.
And I'm more than appreciative of it.
Yes, absolutely. We are appreciative. Absolutely.
No, I do want to let you guys know, depending on how many people show up and want to be on the panel, I probably will be rotating people in and out. So don't think that if I rotate you out that you can't come back in. I'm going to try to give everybody a chance to come on once, twice, 3 times, depending on how long we go. Because right now, I don't know how long I'm going to go for. I could go for 3 hours, 4 hours.
That's fine, buddy. I've been on streams where they got 10,000 subs, so trust me. If you need to rotate people out, I'm good with it.
All right.
I know how it goes. If
It just-
if you got to do it, you got to do it. It just happens that way.
Yeah, but I just want to give you guys the courtesy and let you know now instead of spraying it on you in the middle of the panel, saying, "Okay, guys, I got to kick you out."
Not a problem. But one thing you should do also is when you start that stream is say when you start the stream, that's what you're gonna do. And also before when you have people in the basement waiting to come up, tell them the same thing. Hey, I might have to rotate people out. It's not that I don't like you, but I got to make room for other people. So that way they don't get pissed off at you if they're already up in the panel.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
I'd already planned to do that, but I figured since I have you guys here tonight and it's just the 3 of us, I would go ahead and let you know right now.
All right. No, I understand. I just want to make sure other people understand that too. And I want to make sure you know how to say that to them, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I know perfectly well how to let them know, and I'm not going to be rude about it. I'm just going to say these are
Don't be the
facts.
sci-fi. Yeah, don't be a sci-fi about it. Don't say, "Hey, you got to go." Next.
You ain't got to go, but you got to get the heck up out of here for the moment.
You ain't got to go home, but you can't stay here.
And by the way, for everyone listening, if you ever had a business, like a local mom and pop, like bar or like a restaurant, whatever, and they tell you that, don't think, oh no, they won't kick it. No, they will kick your ass.
They'll kick your ass out.
Yep.
They'll kick you the fuck out.
And they don't care what the only exceptions is if there's no like overhang or anything like that in front of the door. Like that's the only exceptions to that are, because if there's no overhang and it's like fucking like thunder and lightning outside,
Then you're going the fuck out.
You know,
And they don't give a
that's the
fuck how
only
you do it.
exception. That's the only exception where they'll let you stay in until the weather clears up just enough to get out to your car safely. Only exception. Other than that,
that's why the song "Bumbadee da Bumbadee da Bumbadee da Happy Trails to You until we meet again. Happy trails to you. I forgot the rest of the words. You can't say home. You know you gotta go home, but you can't stay here. Fuck out. Time to go home. Happy trails. And I think that's what Patriot was trying to say too. So,
and before I leave, I do want to thank folks for stopping by in just a second.
absolutely, we love everybody in the chat. Wait, we got somebody else in the chat. Who is that?
Yes, Green Lantern's back.
Hey, Green Lantern, how you doing?
All right, so I want to thank the following folks for stopping by tonight's episode of Pop Talk. Really appreciate it. I want to thank Alan Copeland.
Alan was here. I didn't even see him in the chat. I must have missed him.
I want to thank Zax. Thank you very much. I want to thank Sherry. Thank you very much.
Sherry was here
Second
too.
time she's been a part of Pop Talk, popping in the chat. Really appreciate it.
Awesome.
I want to thank Godzillionaire. Thank you very much, Godzillionaire. Always a pleasure to see everybody. And I want to thank Leia Rose. Thank you, Leia. Really appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Leia Rose. Do appreciate you.
I want to thank, and don't make fun of his name. He told me
GMC Games Mickey and Comics RS, Mr. GMC himself. Hell yeah, Games and Comics RS. Yes.
And he was telling me earlier today that he lost a bet, so he has to play all these Mickey Mouse and Disney games.
Is that why he changed it to Mickey? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. Go check out GMC. Really, he has an awesome channel. He does playthroughs of some of the old schoolest games you ever seen. I'll tell you what. Check out his YouTube channel. GMC Games, Movies, and Comics R Us is normally what it's called, but he really does do a lot of awesome old school playthroughs. So GMC, that's what I call him, GMC. He's really somebody to watch here on YouTube.
He really is. And I also want to thank Darius Munchausen. Thank you very much.
Darius was here. Nice.
Yes, he was. Yes, he's becoming one of my regulars.
Nice.
It's nice to see a lot of these familiar faces.
It is. I'm glad to see so many familiar faces checking out your channel.
And of course, the Nerdporial Lifeform.
Nerdporial.
Thank you, Brian. And of course, Sci-Fi Nation.
Call me Jay.
I know, but people want to know the name of your channel, so Sci-Fi Nation. Thank you, Jay. Really appreciate it, brother.
Not a problem, bud.
And I also want to thank the one, the only, Whoopa Troopa.
Whoopa Troopa!
It's a Whoopa Troopa. I was trying to do the damn Mamma Mia thing, and I
didn't
fucking
work.
blanked. It flopped hard. It flopped very hard.
It flopped softly.
I also want to thank Goggles and Gadgets.
Goggles and Gadgets. First time I've seen that name. Awesome! I'm glad you're supporting my friend Pacific414.
And Green Lantern 345. Thank you very much.
Again, Green Lantern 435. 345. I get numbers mixed up in my head sometimes. Thank you so much for supporting Pacific414. Really. This guy right here, I tell you what. I watched him for a couple of weeks before he even came onto his channel, or before I even talked to him. I tell you what. He had 68 subs. I said, hey, friend. He said, what? I said, I like what you're doing. He said, yeah? I said, oh, yeah. He said, what you going to do? I said, I want to get you to 100 subs. So I promoted him for a couple of weeks.
Yeah, it is. That Goggles and Gadgets is a cool channel.
It is a cool channel. Can we get a link for that?
Green Lantern 345. Go ahead and put the link to that channel. Let's get some more subscribers.
Let's get some more subs in here. Get some more subs. I don't care about my channel. I want to sub to these other channels. I want to promote these other channels, just like I promoted Pacific414. Yeah, we got him over 100 subs. Let's get him over 200 now. Let's get his name out there.
Here's the thing. I know some people are sticklers about it, but if you guys come to my channel and I'm doing a live stream and you want to post a link to your channel, go right ahead. I have nothing against it. It's how I was able to grow, and I want you to be able to grow.
And I'm not going to put mine out there anyway. I'm going to make other people put it out there for me. You know why? I want them to put it out there. I don't want to do it. I want them to do it because they think I got a good enough channel to do it. And if I don't deserve it, I don't want them to do it. Does that make sense to y'all?
Makes sense. Makes perfect sense.
I don't promote people to promote myself. I promote people because I believe in what they're doing.
Yep. Well, that's why I'm letting Green Lantern 345 promote Goggles and Gadgets, because I've watched Goggles and Gadgets. Goggles and Gadgets is a good channel. What Whoop is starting.
Green Lantern attempted the first solo stream tonight. I need to go watch that. I need to go watch your first live stream. I want to see how you did. Not because I want to critique it. I just want to see how you did. I remember my first live stream. I was scared as fuck on my first live stream.
God, I forget how I was on my first one.
I ain't gonna lie, I was scared as fuck.
And don't mind me, I'm just putting links to everybody's channel who is on this panel,
Oh, okay,
well,
that one's fine. I
except
don't
for
need that
myself.
one. It's not for the faint of heart. Well, no, it ain't. But you know what? Even if you are faint of heart, the fact that you did it, that you put yourself out there, that takes heart. That takes true heart. That means you got something. You got something deep in your heart because you believe in something.
Yeah. You believe in your ability to captivate an audience. And the only way you can really do it is by being yourself, like we were talking about earlier.
Absolutely. Well, there's CSA's
Like-
channel. I thought I was already subbed to you. I am now, though. There you go, Patriot. Just subbed to you.
Oh.
I'm sorry, CSA. I thought I was already subbed to you. I call him CSA because I seen him as that name on another stream. That's what I call
I
the
actually
Patriot.
was Common Sense America originally, and then I discovered that when I went into the search and I typed in Common Sense America, it took me forever to find my channel. So when I
Okay.
did the Smoking Patriot, how you see it right there, it popped up way faster.
So it's like
So-
me calling. It's just like me calling. Oh shit! There's a guy from Ireland that's been my friend for years, and his first name was Mountains of Elysium, and now he's called something else. But I still call him Mountains of Elysium.
I've heard of Mountains of Elysium.
Yeah, he still has that channel. It's got like thousands of subs on it.
Oh, nice.
Very
But
nice.
yeah, he has a secondary name he goes by. But yeah, Mountains. Yeah, he's from Ireland. Yeah, he's a really cool dude. Never talked to him on a panel. But yeah, I mean, his music, just the way he talks in the chat, he's really awesome. Oh my God, somebody outside my home.
All right, well, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. So thank you all for coming on. Thank you all for chatting with us in the chat. I also want to thank Master Paul for coming on earlier. Really appreciate that. And until Saturday, this has been Mike for Pacific414 Pop Talk, along with
Smoking Patriot or Common Sense America, whichever one you want to look for. Common Sense America is my Twitch channel. Haven't done anything on it lately. Same reasons why I haven't streamed on YouTube lately. Yeah. So go check out the Smoking Patriot. The way you see it there, _smoking_patriot. It's older content right now, but there will be new stuff. The gears have been turning on stuff. The gears have been turning. I promise you this. I have not just been sitting on my ass. So
I'm going to go ahead and show your link again. So there you see it on screen, and it's also in the chat. It'll also be in the replay of the chat. So subscribe to those channels, and until next time, take care, and I'll see everybody Saturday.